You do need a new chair.
I was actually mentioning that to Amanda, but Amanda felt like the chair would be way too expensive. I was telling her, I was like, even if it was, we could go half and half with her on it, but there's only like one chair on Amazon I saw that I trust me on my fat ass to sit on, so I was kind of concerned about it. And I honestly, just a chair like this would be fine too. Maybe not like, you know, a lazy boy or something like that.
Amanda goes to the thrift store.
I was telling her, you know, just go to Goodwill and get me a fucking lazy boy.
We also need to decide when I'm coming up.
That is true. It's weird because you keep talking about coming up and Amanda keeps talking about going down.
I mean, if she wants you to go down, Tyler.
Oh, no. She wants to go down. So, I mean,
don't say no to that either.
I was going to say later on, eventually we'll go down to Columbus too, but
yeah.
You know, birthday present, right?
Yeah. How much advance notice do you need to request off that Friday?
Well, right now, pretty much from January 1st until March 1st, you can request it like a day or two before. But March 1st all the way to the end of the year, everybody puts in what days they officially want off, and then it's decided who gets what based on seniority. So I got to wait until the 1st of March, and so I figured during either Amanda's spring break or during your birthday, I don't know how it coincides. I believe it laps over each other.
Monday.
And so based on that, then I can hopefully get that weekend off.
Right, the 22nd.
Preferably something like that.
Okay, I've got it off from Amazon, but I'll have to request off for the hotel.
March 30th?
That's late.
That is late. Ooh.
We can do the 29th.
You sure?
Yeah. I mean, it's my birthday. I'm not like...
I was going to say, I was like, oh no, we're going to miss your birthday. We're going to miss my birthday too, actually. So, no biggie.
All right, so we want to plan for the 29th. I know the reason why I want to get onto it too. I only need 2 weeks, but Jamie wants to come up too to stay with Amber. So we want to try to do it in one trip.
Okay. I mean, worst case scenario, if it comes down to it, like the boss was pretty sympathetic about it. I went to put in a vacation time for to see my sister when she was giving birth to her kid.
Right.
And I couldn't originally because somebody else already requested that day off, but they canceled it. Oh, they were sick rather, and
right.
I couldn't put in the vacation time. It's like, if you want to, I'm totally fine with you putting a sick call. And so, I mean, if it came down to it, you know, something like that could happen. But I do get a bonus for not calling in sick. So
right, so we don't want to do that.
All right, Nick.
You're going to be down here on the 29th. Nick's coming too.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Cool.
Michigan and Canada are tight.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I'm coming. All right, sick. I'll see you guys on the 29th.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. I will. Hey, I'd pay for room and board for you. I'd even pay for the fucking plane ticket.
Tyler,
plane ticket's actually pretty cheap. They're like $300 for a road trip.
I can get a hotel for $35 anywhere in Bay City.
Wait, what's up?
I can get a hotel in Bay City for $35.
Well, I didn't.
The Hilton on the river, 4-star hotel.
Okay, but where are we going?
I guess he wants to meet up in Bay City, Michigan.
Oh, all right.
I mean, Brandon, hypothetically, when I say I'll cover room and board, doesn't mean I wouldn't accept any discounts you could hook me up with.
Right.
I'll pay the $35.
We could do that. We could stay at the hotel one night and get shit-faced and swim in the pool and piss in the hot tub.
You know? I mean, if you drink enough, I'll go straight into the river.
Right.
The river's
probably
like,
clean it up by going in it.
Yeah. Clean it up. I'm going to come back out with an extra body organ.
Extra arms.
Yeah.
Arms.
Much off. All right.
Come out more like Slowpoke.
Joke's on you, motherfucker. I'm ready, Slowpoke. I'd come out a slow bro, baby.
Oh, man. Do you see that comic? And I'm not going to try to search for it, but it was a Slowpoke, I guess, with a shelter on its stick rather than its tail. And he says, I can explain.
Jesus. This is going to be an interesting show.
All right, but anyway, I have to get in the funny mood for this plot.
Yeah, you do.
But it's not funny.
It's gonna be
little
funny. It's
Okay,
gonna
that's
be
fine.
funny.
That's fine.
Okay, Nick, you are the
Yeah.
director. For each of us, could you explain to us how we should talk or act?
All right. Tyler, as Blizzard, you're a little bit, shaken
You're
up. You're a
great.
little, you're on edge. A little bit of a deeper, edge to your voice. Brandon, you're like, you're a little calmer. You're a little confident because you just managed to buy yourself some time. And you're just trying to help. You're trying to get a plan together. You're essentially the lead in formulating this rebellion or whatever this is. And
Rebellion?
I'm just kind of like,
Rebellion, okay.
the world's fucking ended anyway, so I'm just gonna be here. Oh, what's up? I'm the dude,
Does that
bro.
make you as Bungie like our coyote of sorts?
Something like that.
Right.
Yeah,
Skip us over the border.
yeah.
The revolution has begun.
Oh god.
I just watched Thor Ragnarok earlier today. It was good.
And
That's a good movie.
are you okay with my second portion, if you will, if I try to sound my damn best to sound like Xemnas?
Yeah, go for it. Whatever you feel, whatever you
Brandon,
want
you
to try.
understand.
I'm excited to see your transformation.
I don't even know who Xemnas is. I saw the thing
You're
that you
about to
sent,
find out.
but
Yeah,
I'm
you are.
about to find out. Yeah.
When you walk up to a straight couple and ask who's the heartless and who's the nobody?
Jeez.
No?
So does that make
Okay,
their
yeah.
baby? Does that make their baby
See,
their true self?
That's a reference that only the two of you would get. I kind of understand it, but I don't fully understand it.
We're about to do some fucking
Yeah, I'm so sorry, Nick.
Kingdom
It's about to
Smarts
be a
up in
long.
here.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I've got my vape. I got new juice. I've got charged batteries. I'm good to go. I got my
All right.
coffee with me. I've got
I-
some blow. What?
I told my sisters not to bother me for 2 hours.
Nice.
We'll see.
Oh, so okay, you're not the. You're not one of the sisters. Never mind. Okay.
no,
I'm
no.
upset because I got a single mesh coil in this thing, man, versus that quad mesh I had. It's heartbreaking, dude.
Don't go breaking my heart.
Don't complain. It's better than your old setup.
Couldn't if I tried.
Yeah, it is.
How do I? Are we streaming this?
We're streaming right now. We're live.
Where's the link to where they can watch but not join?
I can post you the link in the chat right now.
Oh yeah, let me tweet that out actually.
Thank you. It's out on Facebook right now, so
Just because Jacob was asking about it a week or two ago, so I figured I'd give him the link. Oh God, why is the screenshot a picture of my face? Hold on, I want to. Hold on. Oh,
Don't
this is gonna be-
stop me now.
All right, hold on. I just posted a link for you. Check out the Imager link.
Oh boy. Suspicious. That's our fucking preview of you. This fucking surfer Brandon over here.
Why? Why do you do this to me?
I'm surfing the wave and Krispy Kremes.
We've crashed, man. Oh, that's
Is that what should I get you for your birthday? Is heavy duty surfboard?
right. Tubular. Jeez. So Nick, how was your break?
What break?
The one you took like 5 minutes ago?
Oh, it was good. It was nice and smooth. Good density. Good push.
Good.
Not a lot of smell. Minimal amount of wipes. All good.
You know your health is important to us.
I appreciate it. Yeah, no, it's all good. I
Because if you die,
usually-
I have to take over your spot.
Oh, nobody wants to do. I wouldn't want to do that to you.
I mean, you're aerating it. You are supposed to air red wine.
Oh yeah.
You're supposed to let it breathe so that the tannins don't overwhelm you.
And it's a sip. Sip,
Sip,
switch.
swish it around in your mouth, spit it out, and that's how you drink wine.
Did I tell you when I went to Canada? Jesus. Did I tell you when I went to California to visit my mom?
That was not the way to drink wine.
No, don't gargle. Too much air.
I carbonated it sparkling.
When I went to California to visit my mom, we went to a wine tasting, and they suggest you spit it out, but you don't have to.
Yes.
And like hell, if I was gonna spit out, I spent $40 per person for this tasting.
Because
Why would you spit out
technically,
alcohol, no matter
you're
how
supposed
bad it
to be
is?
sober to appreciate the taste of the wine versus getting a
Oh,
little
I
buzz.
appreciated the taste.
Yeah, I bet you did as it went down your throat.
It was actually really good wine.
Oh.
I wouldn't say it was worth paying the extra because Barefoot, I think, is good wine too. But
So this is cherry wine from the Traverse Bay Winery, which I'm pretty sure I
Nice.
drove by during my honeymoon. And during my honeymoon, I actually got some Traverse City cherry wine. However, it was about $12 for the glass, and we're talking like, you know, the sample size bullshit that they give us. And this whole damn bottle was $8. It's
Yeah.
really upsetting. It's like, oh, fuck it, this is my honeymoon in a bottle right here at this point. Oh, happy Valentine's Day, guys.
thank you. What'd you give me?
I'll show you later.
All right. It better be that calendar we talked about.
I sent you a 40-pack of fudge brownies.
You did. I was looking at sending you a pack of white chocolate macadamia nut cookies afterwards.
Yeah.
Those things are fucking expensive. A 12
Oh.
pack was like $25. I was like, Jesus.
Just give me like a Kroger's gift card so I can buy them and bake them.
I'll just
The
send
dough.
you Subway ones.
Yeah, Subway wants to give me a Subway gift card, and every day I'll just rate the damn thing of what they got.
I'll have to keep an eye out for it though. Where I've spent a lot of money this last couple weeks, so I'm pinching.
I understand.
We had a lot of stuff go down in the house, so
I had a lot of birthdays to celebrate. I had David's birthday, Nick's birthday, and then I
Not my
helped out-
birthday. The other Nick.
Yeah,
fuck you.
Accurate.
When is your birthday, Nick? You said
September 18th.
May 23rd.
That was close.
okay.
Yeah,
so,
you're close.
So I am the closest right now in 9 days. And
I
then-
think we celebrated. We recorded after I think our second or third episode was the week of my birthday.
I mean, our first. It must have been the second.
Third. I think it would have been the third.
Okay, because I'm gonna say we started like on May 12th or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay,
So-
that makes sense.
You said your birthday's in May?
Yeah.
How many months is that in the Canadian calendar?
I actually don't know because we determine we base our calendar of when the new Canadians are born, and that usually happens
What day of the
when it
month?
snows over and people burst through the ice. That's how Canadians are born.
Fair enough.
So
What-
that hasn't happened yet. May 23rd.
What- I think that might be my mom's birthday.
I can
Oh,
check
really?
for you.
It's either May 23rd or May 24th. Yeah, it's kind of freaking me out now.
See, what's your mom's name again?
Wait, we probably should be careful about this because I'm one step away from losing my Facebook status or my Facebook account. Also, my social security code. What was my favorite dog?
What was your first car? What was the name of your
is-
first pet?
What's the name of your closest best friend? And you know what? I keep everybody
Where do
guessing,
you
including
live?
myself.
Could you
What
please
is
tell
it?
me your full name? What's your
depends
mother's
on-
maiden name?
Your
played
mom's
with me
birthday
last?
is the 24th.
24th. Okay, so the day after. Great. At least I know I'll have one birthday to celebrate.
Mine?
Yeah.
I got to come up with what you should get me for my birthday. Because last time you got me a blowjob, but that's kind of
Yeah.
hard to do this time.
You know what? I can work with it.
All right. Oh, I am coming down to or up to visit.
And I'll be going down to visit.
Hey.
Hey,
So Tyler, your birthday's in 9 days. Are we finally hitting triple digit numbers or?
Triple. You're 100 now.
you're a centennial, Harry. What? I should be dead.
You're turning what, 28?
28.
27.
You know, it's weird because Amanda told me I was going to be 28. I'm like, wait, I thought I was 28 already. And I got excited. I was like, well, I can be 28 again.
I'm younger.
Yeah, it felt great when I figured that out. I had the math, you know.
Math
I think
is
after
hard.
like after 25, I just stop counting. So sometimes I don't know how old I am. Sometimes,
I mean,
which is as somebody who's under 25, like I know exactly how old I am. But after that, it's like suddenly just like,
just all downhill from there.
it's not until I hit 55 or 60 I have to worry about shit.
statistically speaking, though, your body stops producing more cells than that are dying after 25. So that's when you really should care.
Well, there you go.
I'll drink to that.
We're all dying. How old are you, Nick?
I turned 24 this year.
Oh shit, Nick's still a baby.
Yep.
Yeah, he's Jeff Gordon over here.
I'll be 27. That's crazy.
I just realized that I made the joke about us having the Jeff Gordon episode 24, and it just went over everybody's head. It was very upsetting.
I didn't know 24 was the Jeff Gordon episode. Oh. I
mean, yeah, I don't know who Jeff Gordon is.
Oh, I mean, I understand because it's a horrible redneck American sport, but goddamn, he is a.
We
popular
talked about
driver from
NASCAR, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Guess what his car number is?
23.
No, it's actually 66, but anyway.
Pretty awesome, perfect number.
I think that same episode I would have tried to make a Dale Earnhardt joke, but that would have crashed hard. Oof. Oof. I'll throw it against the wall and see what happens.
I could have gotten on for your legacy. You could just call me Junior.
Yeah. Ooh, episode 8.
Is it 8 now?
Sure. Are you legally allowed to change your NASCAR card
He
number?
did change his number.
Oh, he went from 8 to what?
88.
He's what?
I think it's 88.
88. Why would he give it up for 88?
I don't know.
It says car number is still 8.
See, type Junior, right? Not Dale Earnhardt. See if it says anything
Dale
about
Earnhardt Jr. What's up?
See if it says anything about him changing his number.
Let's see.
Dale Jr. switching numbers, yeah, in 2005. Because I thought his old number was like 30 something.
His original number was 8. I don't.
When did Dale Jr. switch to 88? He switched to 88 in 2008.
Yes, 2008, 2009. He raced an 88 car over in Daytona, and then he was also 83 for the Navy backed Chevrolet, the Nationwide Series. Then it looks like he switched back to. Oh no, he was 88 for a while. 2013.
He retired last year, though. I remember that. I don't even like NASCAR. Why do I know this?
Yeah, that's kind of. Well, I mean, you were born and raised for the most part in Ohio, so you have a little bit of Michigan in you. So you know.
I mean, the Ohio Speedway used to be, right here until they shut it down and moved it.
Oh, that's sad. All right, so we are 18 minutes into.
I was gonna say, are we ready?
Oh wait, we're actually doing something today.
Oh, Nick is in the chat as well.
In the
thanks again for the gift, Tyler. Tyler will never commit. Brandon. 23 is Michael Jordan's. It's 88 when he left Earnhardt Racing to go to Hendricks Racing. Okay. So
I
all
that
that
chat open too.
Yeah, me too. I should be reading it. Hi, Nick, by the way.
Hi, Nick.
Hi, Nick.
All right, so we got Brando, Nickel, and Tai because he's drinking. Actually, I need a hanger to put over my head at this rate. Jeez.
A lampshade.
I love lamp. Ooh, Brandon's cool. You're a man?
Oh!
Actually,
Sorry, I mean, getting way too hot under that.
I apologize for assuming your gender, Brandon. It's 2019.
Okay. I'm actually gender fluid, so it depends moment to moment.
That's Nick fair. Apparently was upset because we were talking about NASCAR because none of us know about NASCAR, and he's, I like to think much more knowledgeable than the three of us combined.
Yeah.
All right. So, are we ready for the skip?
Yep.
Hold on.
Not really, but yep.
All right. When it comes to like sound effects and stuff like that, it's going to be mostly edited in, but I'll probably do something similar just to show placement.
Yeah.
Or just random glass tapping. Who's there?
All right. Here's the pre-show nerves. Pre-skit nerves.
Okay. This is where we, Nick says hello to Nick. Last vape call, last sip, whatever you need to do. Cough, blow your nose.
Okay.
Oh shit, I'm not ready. All right, we're good.
Okay. Let's see. We'll do the skit. We can talk or do whatever we want for a little bit, and then we'll start with the show. Wait, am I hosting?
Yep.
Amanda, can you toss me the tissue box? This is probably for both of us. I'm gonna mute myself that way.
We can't hear you anymore, Tyler.
Wonder why. Tyler, we can't hear you. Tyler, I think
All right, I guess we're
audio
done.
issues.
Everybody hop off. I'm
You're
waiting
recording.
for some pretty good practical jokes. I expect Tyler to have a blood pack in one of them. And so he just starts blowing his nose and he squeezes it. Blood just starts pouring out.
Jesus, dude. Good God. All right.
I mean, if you didn't want to record, you could have just said so instead of pulling such an elaborate prank.
God damn it.
You missed it earlier. He was trying to take a corkscrew off a cork off of a corkscrew using his teeth. I said it would have been funny if he had a spare tooth and he just dropped it afterwards.
All right.
Because,
I'm ready.
people have teeth lying around.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be careful with more wine, and I'm gonna start talking about rule 34 for Kingdom Hearts.
Oh,
And,
you just reminded me of a story that I've got for later.
You look up after that. I'll be doing rule 63.
I've actually got a pretty good picture of Aqua that I should send you later.
Oh, okay.
Remind me.
Okay. Everybody ready then?
I'm ready.
Let's do this. Actually, before we start, everybody have like anything that's airflow related that they need to shut off.
My computer.
Okay.
That's the
Except for
loudest
that.
thing in my room.
Fans off, windows closed.
Okay, let's do this before we cook or freeze.
Who's there?
Blizzard, let me in.
What's the password?
Baja Blast.
All right, come on in. You know Bungie over here, right? I called him in to help us figure out a plan.
Yo, it's been a while.
My God, you look like shit. Rough times?
Oh boy. It's been pretty rough, but I'll pull through. Just got to figure out how to give the players what they want without giving them what they want. That's how things go.
I see. Respawn. How's things been?
Not bad, actually. With Apex coming out, it's bought me some time to figure things out. I mean, it was the best week that EA has had in a long time. How about things on your end?
Grim. We lost Heroes of the Storm. WoW is struggling, and Overwatch has plateaued. They've started the amputation process.
How many?
8. Maybe 900.
Ooh, fuck.
Bungie, pal, how the fuck did you do it? How did you get away?
I'll tell you, it wasn't easy. There were moments where I felt like I lost everything. Moments where nothing mattered. Until Cade died. I killed him, Blizzard. I killed him for them, and they still weren't happy. That's when I knew I had to fight my way out, even if I lost it all. And now, look at what we've become.
Whoa, easy there, Bungie. You did good. Well, we'll get you back on your feet. Don't worry. He's right, Blizzard. They've taken so much, but when is it going to be enough? When are you going to fight?
I want to. oh no, it's happening. So, this is your little rebellion, huh, Blizzard? Cute.
Wait a minute. What's going on? Are you okay?
Blizzard?
Oh, no. I'm Activision. Pleasure to meet you. Blizzard does his best to keep me under control, but it is a lost cause. The takeover is at 60% and progressing fast.
You can't do this. He's part of the old guard. Without him, it'd be the end of an era.
Old God. Please. That's a fancy term for old farts who refuse to adapt. Times have changed, gentlemen.
But there's more to this than just money, though. What about the players? What about your employees?
Players, employees, pawns. People get to play a game my employees work on, and I make money. The employees enjoy their work. It's a win-win-win.
You sick bastard.
We won't let you get away with this. We will save Blizzard.
Oh, what was the saying? You either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. I guess we'll soon see where I fall. Satisfactory?
That was good.
Okay. I apparently don't have the best feminist voice, but I tried my damn best.
How did you guys feel about that? Everybody did good. Yeah. So before we start the show, I figured that I should host because the two of you are gonna go off on a rant, and so it'll allow me to like inject myself about 30 minutes into the rant and be like, all right, time, let's just move on.
You do that, we're gonna try to majority over you. Bitch, please, we barely talked about Xigbar.
But yeah, no, I was wondering if that's...
Yeah, go ahead. You host.
To answer Nick's question real quick, no. But if you wanted to send me that, I wouldn't say no. But anyway, keep going.
Don't forget, Brandon, you got to talk towards your mic.
I said it's not Twisted Scarlet, but if you wanted to send it to me, feel free.
Oh, did he look for the Aqua picture?
I don't think so, or I don't know if he's looked for it, but it's not the one that I had. I've got it right here.
Kingdom Hearts will soon be ours.
Oh, I did want to say about that skit. There's a surprising amount of parallels between that and Kingdom Hearts.
Were there?
Yeah, just the players, employees, pawn.
Oh.
And I was like,
I was just thinking about capitalist greed, but anyways.
I was thinking, I was telling him that Activision taking over Blizzard felt like Xehanort taking over Terra.
Yeah.
Okay, Nick, take it away, my friend. Actually, one more vape if I could, please.
I found it, Nick.
All right, show floor is yours, my friend.
Hello and welcome to Casual Master Quest episode 40. I'm your host for the episode, Nick, and I'm joined by two beautiful people. We've got Tyler in one corner and Brandon in the other corner. How's it going, guys?
So, quick question. Does that mean there's just two Brandons and then there's me? Because who's the beautiful one over here?
I was gonna say I thought I lost my beauty when I took the wig off.
I'll let you guys figure it out. I'm just here to say nice
things. Our viewers. Our viewers are the beautiful one. Our listeners.
Yes. Our beautiful viewer. Hello, Nick. Axel Bullet 19 over there. You are the beautiful listener. Thank you.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So how's everybody doing? How are you guys doing? It's episode 40. It's end of season 2. And we're gonna be talking about a lot of things today. It's gonna be a long one. So strap yourselves in for the ride. It's gonna be a long, slow one. It's a long,
slow one. No, it'll be nice, well paced, fast. We might touch on a certain game or two for a couple of minutes. We'll see what happens.
Because people can't see it, I'm saying couple of minutes, and I'm holding up my hands and doing the air quotes because it is definitely gonna be. It's definitely gonna be
the old Todd Howard peace sign.
Yeah, it's gonna be an episode. How's everybody doing?
PM.
And short. Brandon, how's your week been?
It's been all right. I finally got back to work after a nice injury, so I definitely appreciate that. I have, and I hate this word because it's hard to pronounce.
Yeah, it is.
Plantar fasciitis.
Okay.
which is all the tendons in my feet are inflamed,
Oh no.
and it feels like I'm stepping on needles, which delivering packages, that's not the best.
I seriously thought you blew like part of your vertebrae or something when you sent me like that. Like, oh shit, he's done. He's done.
Yeah.
So
No, luckily it's not too terrible. It's cured by ibuprofen. So I've been eating a lot of pills, but I'm back to work. So
hey, well, I mean, how are you feeling now? Do you feel like you're actually recovered, or do you think you're burning a lining in your stomach right now, trying to ibuprofen your way to victory?
I think nothing's happening. So
in what way? That's not good or bad.
So it was fine. It was doing fine, and I reduced my dosage at my doctor's recommendation, and so I'm only taking 400 every 6 hours now.
Oh,
But the problem's not going away, and so the next option, if it doesn't go away, is to
amputate.
Close. Cut all the tendons in my foot.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ooh.
So I would still, but this is like if it's causing me immense pain still. It's a very extreme solution. Obviously, the first option would be lose weight and stop walking on it. So funny. But anyway, I like wiggling my toes. So
Yes, me
I don't
too.
do that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I'd have a panic attack by not being able to wiggle them. So, but
Right.
anyway,
Have you thought about CBD potentially? CBD oils? Because they
Is that fucking snake oil? What the hell is this shit? Canadian bacon diamond?
you trying to get me on that essential
close.
oil shit?
No, so CBD is basically weed oil, but without the THC.
Can we buy that in America?
Yeah. As far as I know, I couldn't tell you whether it's state by state, but I do know people in.
Are we about to do an ad?
No, but I do know people in Chicago
Try
who use
CBD
it.
today.
Yeah, no, it helps with pain management and a few other things, anxiety. So I figured that'd be worth looking into.
Are you trying to say I'm an anxious person, Nick?
I'm saying in general, it's supposed to help with anxiety.
Today, Junior. Brandon, as somebody who's missing part of his muscle span in his right foot from a tractor accident, it's not fun. It's not worth it, man. So,
do you ever get phantom pains?
The fact that I can run my hand like an inch into my foot and realize there should be something there. Yeah, I guess you can say like I still can't feel most of my heel, which really sucks. It's not really muscle loss so much as a lot of nerve loss, especially in that part of the foot. But thankfully, it didn't slice my Achilles, so at least I can still walk on it. That's really the big thing at this point. But since my Achilles is about 60 to 70% exposed, just under a loose layer of skin, I'm at constant danger of like if I wear a shoe down to where like the plastic sticks out in the back, it's done for. And I realize I'm turning the tables onto me, saying, "Oh, woe is me! Fuck Brandon is CBD snake oil shit." No,
I just don't want to have to cut my tendons, and that's so I'm letting it rest. But I did work my full week. They gave me an easier route, less packages to deliver, but it was still hurting by the end of it. So we'll see where I go in the future. Because it's 3 steps to get in and out of the van, plus another 30 to 60 feet to the doorstep, and I guess that was just too much for me.
I'm sorry to hear that, man. Hopefully things will get better.
But on the bright side of work, I started listening to audiobooks now while delivering, using those headphones that you suggested to me. And I wasn't going to mention this because I had forgotten, but I just finished. It took me 2 days to listen to Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
Ooh,
nice.
Which was nice. And the stuttering made me think of Quirrell there. So I'm excited. I'll tell you what, though, my work days have been flying by since listening to that.
It's nice, man. Once you listen to stuff and get into the groove of things, it just flies by real quick. Because a lot of the times, once you get focused and invested in something like an audiobook, it's like you maybe not rush, but you don't even think about the package you delivered. Right. You just do the quick absolute checkpoints. Yeah, Brandon is like, "Hey, is this supposed to be in Cincinnati?" Oh, well, just toss it. Man, I wonder what's happening over with Snape. But
there was a couple times where I was driving and I got to a house and I was like, shit, I don't even remember doing that drive.
Right. Yeah. No, it's especially with driving and like podcasts and audiobooks, especially if you know the roads, time goes by just like that.
There's been times where I'm like, why the hell am I on the right interstate? Yeah, I am, huh? I must have made that turn 13 miles ago. I didn't even notice. Jeez. It's scary, but it's a legit thing that happens.
The other thing is housework. Oh, housework.
Oh,
So-
boy. The favorite part. This is why people come to Casual Master Quest to hear about a guest talk about housework.
Yeah, I'll make it.
Yeah.
My sister got her tax refund, so I got a bunch of money from her. And so I used it to buy stuff on the house. So we redid our kitchen floor. We put a vinyl linoleum in.
Nice.
And then bought a new water softener. So I had to hook that up and put insulation in our basement. So that was my day yesterday. So
That's awesome. Good job.
Yeah.
You are productive, sir.
I want this house to be the best.
You've been productive.
I can't wait for the day where I come to visit and I walk in. It doesn't look like a cave to one of the Zelda temples.
Yeah, I mean, you came by it very early. We didn't even have heat when you came to visit.
Oh, jeez.
We have heat now.
We only had each other. Anyways,
and alcohol.
Yeah,
can't go wrong with
both problems.
Yeah.
But that's been my week.
Tyler, how's your week been?
Well, as some people might notice, my voice is a little bit deeper, even without the audio software doing the magic for me. I unfortunately have been fighting off a sore throat, but with the power of Robitussin and just powering through it, I've been doing pretty good. Just been dealing with a lot of unpleasant wake-up calls and coughing and stuff. But this week was actually Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, guys. And so it was weird because I got Amanda something pretty cool. It was a glass heart that had a personalized message on it and all this stuff. And then yeah, it was cute and stuff. And then she got me a bunch of cool stuff. I'm like, oh man, she totally went in a lot more than me. And so then I just ordered a god awful amount of stuff for her. And she's like, you need to stop. This is not a contest. But at the same time, she has 5 pounds worth of candy. So I mean, who can complain, right?
Nice.
Oh yeah. And I was kind of hoping she was like, I don't like this kind. I'm like, oh, that's 1.66 repeating pounds of candy for me. And other than that, it's been a pretty good week. A couple of hiccups here and there, but honestly, not going to complain. Yeah. Did a little work on the book, not as much as I'd like to as last week, but so far I think I'm at 62,000 words.
Nice.
Still shooting for 80,000, so we'll see what happens with that. What about you though, Nick?
It's been a busy week. There's a project that I've been working on for the last 2 weeks for one of my courses that I don't like the course. Profs are great. The TA is great. The people that I met in the course are great. I just dislike the course content. But we're finally done with that. So I've actually been able to catch up on some sleep. But it started snowing here in Vancouver. And me and Tyler were actually talking about this earlier in the week. But snow is not commonplace for Vancouver usually. But the last 4 winters have been really bad. So last 3 winters. 2 winters ago was the most snowfall we've gotten or Vancouver's gotten in 70 years. And Vancouver is not equipped to deal with snow. Like it takes at least a day to get all the snow plows out, people to start actually salting the roads and pay sidewalks and steps. And so Sunday, this last Sunday, like the week before, drove to campus to work on this project with my project partner. Arrived at 11 in the morning, parked outside, not in the roof parking lot because nobody was expecting the snow. I would go work out. I come out to take a break to grab some lunch at 2 in the afternoon, and I see it snowing, and I'm like, well, fuck. All right, well, I guess I'm leaving my car here. I had to leave my car on campus overnight because we only finished working at 10 in the night. So I left my car there. It wasn't too bad getting home, but I didn't have my boots. So the walk from the train station to my apartment was a challenge. It took twice as long, and I had to be careful, and my socks were wet. My feet hurt because I couldn't, I didn't have any grip. I was just wearing like Converse. So a little bit of a challenge, and I wasn't also equipped. I didn't have my layers. So that was fun. And then it's been getting more snow. My building management has not been clearing the driveway, so I haven't been able to actually drive to school because apparently clearing out the entrance to the driveway for the parking lot is enough, and that's all they want to do. Despite us paying $1,300, they refuse to do everything else, so they can go fuck themselves.
Jeez.
And there have been a few other issues that I've had with building management that I've mentioned over the last few months. And so we finally saw a place this past weekend, me and my roommate, and hopefully we get it. I'm really hopeful we do. It's a little bit smaller. The one room is drastically smaller compared to the master bedroom. But we decided we'll make it work. We'll just have to get rid of our beds, our dining tables to buy newer ones to fit into the new place. We just have to get approved first. So that's been my week, and I have the whole week off now because this is our spring break. Our university likes to give us our spring break now. So whenever everybody's at spring break, it's that meme with Squidward watching Patrick and SpongeBob running outside. That's what I'll be like next month. Yeah.
I stayed at my college for spring break one time just for because I didn't have a house. So the crazy thing to me is when I went out for spring break because there was nobody on campus,
Right.
deer had taken over. I walked out my first day.
That's
and
pretty
there was
cool.
like 40 deer in front of me. I turned around, went back in, called my RA, who was Garrett, a friend of mine at the time. I was like, "Is this?" Because he was there. It's like, "Is this normal?" He's like, "Oh yeah, they take over as soon as everybody leaves." I was like, "Okay," so we ordered
That's
food
pretty cool.
because we didn't want to get attacked.
That's crazy. Jeez.
Yeah, I usually use this week to plan dentist appointments. So like it's called reading break for us, not spring break. So like last year I got some cavities filled in. The year it's only our university too. Like the other big university here, UBC, they do like a regular spring break. It's really just our university. So I think last reading break I got my wisdom teeth removed, or wisdom tooth. But beyond that, yeah, that's been my week. A little bit slow, a little bit busy. And there's only really been one game that I've invested my time into.
Hey, me too.
We're gonna talk about the video games we played now, and I'm gonna start off because I've only played two games.
Kingdom Hearts 3.
Let's not start there yet.
No.
Not yet. Not yet.
No, bad. You get in the corner.
Not yet. Because before I'm silenced, I will talk about Apex Legends and tell you how
boy.
I've put 70 hours into that damn game since it came out.
70 hours?
I love the game, Tyler.
Have you won yet?
I've won a couple. Yeah, no, I win one every 2 nights, I want to say. Because most of the time I play super aggressive. I can't play passive, and I just enjoy shooting people.
Because I just play with Connor, so
Right.
Have a third.
So yeah, I've been playing Apex. They put out a balance patch already after the first week. They've had some server issues, but beyond that, game's been running smooth. It uses 90% of my CPU, and I'm not sure why. But yeah, Apex has been great. And Tyler, we played League of Legends the other night.
Yes.
League?
Yeah, we played League because we were both awake.
I mean, granted, this was probably around 2-3 o'clock in the morning. And
I would have woken up.
I rise from my grave. Somebody wants to play League. Nick and I did, I think, an ARAM, and then we proceeded to go into Ultra Rapid Fire. And I told him, it's like, you don't even have to learn the character. You just got to play. Which is true. And then we got viciously curb stomped multiple times. So,
multiple times. But I mean, I wanted to play because well, no, I didn't want to play. Tyler's like, we can't play something, and I'm like, well, the only game that I think we'd both at least mildly enjoy would be League of Legends, because we played Apex a little bit as well, and Apex is just purely not your kind of game.
Oh, I would have totally played Apex with you, but you're like, we play League of Legends, and I made a weird noise, and you're like, I don't know what that means. I'm like, I already have it open. I'm logging in.
And log in with him, but I have to convince you.
Oh, come on! I'll play League with you anytime.
I mean, we can play League right now. Oh no, wait, we're recording.
Yeah, I say that.
But yeah, I want to present my character.
That's the way they end the season, right?
Because my character's low level, and I want to use my character when we do ARAMs, and so Tyler was very nice to help me level up my character.
Hey, you're level 3 now. Congrats.
Yeah, so I can actually play some of the game modes. But yeah, so that's video games for me. And so this is how it's going to work. We're going to talk about everything else except for Kingdom Hearts until the end.
Fucking murder him. Stop him right now.
How do I leave the call?
Yeah.
Because we have to give every other game its own time. At least even if it's a minute. So Tyler, do you want to start with what other games you've been playing this week except for Kingdom Hearts 3?
Absolutely. Of course, Nick. So for this being Valentine's week, I really wanted to play a game I could spend some time with my wife. And so her and I started to play an expert world on Terraria. What?
Where's my invite?
Oh my gosh, what is with you? And where's this? Where's that? You're at work every time we play. You've realized this, you goon, right?
I know.
I will send you an invite if you want to play, because we haven't gotten to the first boss yet. We started an expert. It's been horrible.
I'm pretty sure that's what happened with our world too. We couldn't beat the first boss, then we just kind of stopped playing.
That sounds like something that would happen with us. And so we played a little bit of that with my 3DS adventures when I'm riding passenger. Whenever I'm not playing Destiny Child, which I'm still playing, but I'm not going to talk about that. I decided to play more Phoenix Wright. I'm currently on the last case of the first game. Still a great game. It is kind of weird because I'm not used to not having the Megatama, which is the item that you use to break the chains that are around people's psyche to figure out their secrets and stuff. That's not introduced until the second and third game. And so it's just purely collecting evidence and bitching people out for lying at me. So
the replayability on that.
Actually amazingly well. Now it's weird because when I used to play because it came out as a trilogy on the 3DS, I thought I was going to have to follow a walkthrough for all of it, but I would say 95% of the time I was able to be intuitive with it. Plus the 3D effect of having characters in the forefront and the background, pretty damn nice as it turns out. It's great. More importantly though, because of the talk about a certain game being remade or re-released by Nintendo, which we'll talk about later on a platform, I decided that I was like, wait, that was a handheld game. Is a handheld game really this viable nowadays? Anyone? I know I'm going off on a tangent here, but for some reason I wanted to test the logic by replaying The Legend of Zelda: Link Between the Worlds, and as it turns out, that's a fucking great game. I wanted to keep playing it. It's weird because the only time I like to play my 3DS is when I'm out and about, but this is one of those games where I want to sit on the couch and play it. And it's so nice. It's very underappreciated. I think I said this in the last episode, how the 3D effect of the 3DS goes unmentioned nowadays because hardly anybody uses it. But using it, just, what's it called? Stereoscopic 3D, I believe, at this point. Yeah. It's so nice as it turns out. It just, it deludes you for a second, but once you believe into it, you're looking into a box with a whole new world, and every game is accented by it in such a way that just makes it so much more enjoyable.
Right now, I'm imagining a developer for one of those games, for the 3D games, listening to this podcast, a single tear running down his cheek because he finally feels the appreciation that someone shows towards 3D.
Yeah, that has been mostly my week. There has been another game that I might have completed, stuff like that. Well, we'll talk about that later. Brandon, you have a few games that's been going out on your end, though. What's going on, man?
Well, I had Apex as well. I've been playing a little bit of it. Not nearly as much as Nick, but it's fun. I put some money into it because I like doing that for free to play games that actually are entertaining. So a lot of mobile games. So I gave him $10 and bought Mirage with it and have been having a lot of fun with him. But I've also been putting a lot of time into Final Fantasy 14.
Actually, happy birthday to it.
Yeah, I know. I saw that and I was like, oh, well, that's convenient. But they announced their new expansion at the FanFest last week or 2 weeks ago. And Vera were announced as a playable race for the new expansion. And so that got me and Garrett back into it.
Now, what is the Vera?
Vera are bunny girls.
Oh, all right. You had me at that. Is it on PC?
Yeah.
PC, you can get it on PS4 if you want to, or Xbox, but definitely PC is the best.
Okay, cool. Yeah, okay. Bunny girls?
Bunny girls,
very tall-legged, and they have great assets.
So they're bankers.
Yeah.
Brandon, you had me at bunny girls. You don't need to sell it anymore.
And so we're excited about that. And a new class was accidentally leaked because
oh boy,
apparently on the French client, someone's name broke the coding. And so instead of saying
Oh,
his name, it said all of the races. So it said, oh, a Makode, oh, an Aura, oh, a Rodolin, and then went on and on and on and on. And then there's a one that we don't know anything about. And it was the last one. And so people are speculating with that it's a lion race, half lion, half human from Final Fantasy X, I believe.
Really?
Yeah.
A lion race.
And so everybody that's caused a lot of hoopla. So it's been fun. I've enjoyed it. You know, I always enjoy my MMOs. I'm sure Tyler understands that.
This is slowly turning into the Monster Girl Quest MMO that I've dreamed of. So we're taking one step closer to the dream I hope to have one day.
We have cat girls. We have little potato girls. We've got tall ass bitches.
And guys.
Oh, yeah. And guys.
yeah, because they're
somewhere.
important too sometimes.
And then we have lions, rabbits, and dragons. Yeah.
Nice.
Half dragon girls.
You know, I still have a guilty conscience over the IOA character I made in Terra.
Oh, it's been a long time since I thought about that game.
Nick, have you heard of the game called Terra?
I've heard of it. I believe I might have played it, but it never gripped me. And this was like years ago.
Totally understandable. I believe it is a Korean-based MMO that Brandon convinced me to play or install and play while I was in blackout mode. And so I woke up the next day and found that I had a character that was like level 8 that I was like, oh gosh, this is the character I created while drunk. She's beautiful. Why is she so dopey-eyed? I guess I'm gonna have to take care of her now because she's my responsibility. It's like getting a girl pregnant after being drunk, and I was like, okay, this is my responsibility as the father. And then I think I got her to like level 20 and then I quit. So she's of legal age, she's out free in the world. So
Oh, no, I don't think I've actually played Terra, but I've seen gameplay of it.
it's okay, you don't have to.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to, but
I reinstalled it a couple months ago to play.
Oh God, Brandon, why?
It's and then uninstalled it again.
Thank you.
But the other game that I've been playing is Langrisser, which is a mobile game.
Which I've never heard of. You're gonna have to describe it. What's going on here, man?
It plays very much, well, it plays exactly like Fire Emblem. And not Fire Emblem Heroes, but the original like Fire Emblem, where it's got, it's a gacha game, and as you get your characters, you can give them paths. So like, let's say you have the main character, but you don't like that he's a swordsman, you could turn him into a ninja or a dragon rider if you wanted to, based on the paths that you give him. There's an intimacy and bond relationship and training, and it's pretty much like a mobile. I mean, they're all mobile now, but
I hope so if it's on the phone.
Yeah. Fire Emblem, and it's really good. It's a mix of like Fire Emblem and Wargroove, which is
now
nice.
Let me get this straight. You abandoned Destiny Child for this?
Yeah.
Brandon?
And it's 90s art style, so that's nice.
Okay. That's fine.
But he's getting his fix because they're going to be adding bunny girls now, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Everything's
you
okay,
think there's
Tyler.
no bunny? No. There's totally bunny girls in Destiny Child.
No, but I'm just saying you'll have more control over the bunny girls.
Yeah.
Oh, what do you mean by that?
Oh, I can make them do whatever I want.
Brandon, Jesus, no, that's
I want them to jump, they jump.
how interesting you are.
All right, Mr. FBI, please don't. We're just joking here. We're not serious.
Yes,
someone's knocking at my door.
Mr. Brandon, will you have a seat over here? I swear, I thought that bunny was over 18.
What I really like about it is the rarity system that they have. The super rare characters are only super rare because they're from factions, so they buff each other. You can have a rare unit beat a super rare unit of the same level. Like the only thing that really changes is their skills between them, and so that's really nice for a gacha game. So the true gacha is getting multiple copies of these characters, so you can put them up by stars.
You can do that too. It's called evolution.
Yeah,
in Destiny Child.
Yeah,
Brandon.
But I haven't beat the story. I've been playing the game for about 3 weeks now and haven't beaten the story. It is long.
Don't worry, I haven't beaten a Destiny Child either.
And don't know if there's a hard mode because I haven't beaten the normal mode. But it's been a lot of fun, so I've been really enjoying it. I wanted to say one more thing about Final Fantasy real quick. Did either of you play Final Fantasy 12?
Nope.
No, actually, no, I absolutely have not. I haven't touched it for the PlayStation 2 or the Zodiac Age, I believe it was called, for the 3DS or the DS. I don't remember which one.
Zodiac Age was the re-release for PlayStation 4 and PC.
Wait, well, there was one a version of 12 of all things that came out for 3DS.
But anyway, there's a character, Fran, who was she was introduced into Final Fantasy, and that's where all the speculation.
Remnant Wings is what I'm talking about. Final Fantasy 12 Remnant Wings. Anyways, you were saying?
But they put Fran in the game, and this is kind of a spoiler for Final Fantasy. Sorry, but everybody knows now.
Everybody does.
So you play along the quest, and all of a sudden you just see this ass in your screen, and she walks by, and it's Fran from Final Fantasy 12, and people were like, Viras are in the game. They're going to make it a playable race. And then, sure as hell, 1 month later, they announced it. So
nice.
It was nice. But that's what I'm playing this week.
All right. So that's we're done with everything except the one game we've been playing this week. I was
going to say, you bet your ass there might be one more game.
This is the section where I take a step back and sit in silence for a little bit. I will ask questions.
Stay in gaming first.
I will. Yes.
Nick, I feel like as the duty of the host, you probably should give some kind of warning here.
Oh, don't worry, I will. It's as we mentioned before. It's up to you whether or not you're going to listen to my warning. I'm going to do my damn best to make sure that we stay a little bit on track.
Oh no! Okay, fine. I will do the warning. People who are listening to the podcast,
you mean like that?
Yes. Kingdom Hearts 3. We Brandon and I here have beaten the game, and we are going to talk all about Kingdom Hearts 3 like a motherfucker. And there will be spoilers. And so, if you are listening to this live specifically, I will do a weird X sign for Union Cross or something like that to show that we are done. However, up until this very point right here, there will be Kingdom Hearts 3 spoilers. So if you have not beaten the game yet and you're afraid that you might be tainted with something a little too fresh for your fruit basket here, you might want to run off for a second. Otherwise, be prepared because there's going to be some good stuff.
It's hunting season. All right. This will blend into our modular segment pretty much. Tyler, are you ready?
I'm ready. Brandon, are you ready?
I'm ready. Nick, are you ready?
Not really, but all right. Kingdom Hearts 3. Let's go. Tell me about this game.
What the fuck was that shit?
What the fuck is going on with half of this shit? No, all of this shit. What the fuck is going on with this shit? This is a bunch of bullshit.
Because I'm really pissed. Not pissed off, but I'm sad.
Let's save the ending here.
The tree.
I know it's the freshest thing in your mind. The sunset,
the shadows,
the fading.
Oh,
okay. So the first thing I want to say, and I mentioned this in the last podcast, is I really appreciate that Kingdom Hearts 3 has full voice acting.
Yes,
it's so weird compared to Kingdom Hearts 2, where a lot of the story was through text boxes. But I'm actually pretty sure that 98 to 100% of this game is fully voice acted. That being said, there's also a few characters that simply do not talk. That freaks me out a little bit. Characters that bring this to mind is Phil from the Thieves area. Phil, voiced by Danny DeVito, the loudmouth guy who
Hercules and Meg talking, and then
Phil would just silently and stoically nod like the character he is. Another example would be I don't remember what his somebody form is called, but Lexaeus, who's constantly with Ienzo over at Hollow Bastion / Radiant Garden. He doesn't say a damn word.
He just kind of extends his arm a few times.
Yeah, he's like, I don't have a voice acting. They're on strike. I don't know what I'm supposed to say here.
Marluxia never talks either, does he?
No,
he does. That's right.
I'm gonna say he has a fucking sob story after you defeat him, so I'd like to think so.
I forgot about that.
It's really weird because we know Marluxia as a character is currently looking for his sister Starlincia, who I believe is perished, but to this day he doesn't know that.
Yeah, I was wondering who that was when they were talking about it.
Oh yes.
Okay, so I think
it was Naminé, and I was confused because I knew it wasn't her.
Oh, Nick is coming into the field as the referee. Nick has his arms crossed. What's going on here?
So let's leave the story discussion till the end.
Okay.
Let's talk about what worked gameplay wise. What were you happy to see? Like, did it feel modern? How does it compare to the older games? Do you think it played well gameplay wise? Just what was your experience going through it?
This is interesting because Brandon and I actually played in two different fashions because there are two different routes we can play in terms of combat. Brandon went for more a magic route, whereas I went for the strength route, which gives us different keyblades and different methods of fighting. Now, Brandon, since you went magic, what were the differences there? Because I've never touched the magic section of that.
It was a lot harder in the early game.
Harder? How?
I guess not early game, but about mid game. So when my MP bar was low, like small, I couldn't do shit afterwards. Like the Tangled boss gave me a bunch of problems because I could hit it with 4 or 5 fireballs, but then I'd have to run up to it and try to hit it a few times till my MP recharged and just did no damage to it. Rage Form did no damage ever during my gameplay.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. And so
did you ever do the target ability to where you instead of air stepping? Does that use your MP bar or does it? No, it focuses or uses your focus.
Yeah, but I did use that a lot. That was usually my in between MP charging.
And so anybody who's been playing Kingdom Hearts 3 knows that Keyblades have a second and a third form typically. How does that work for you who went along the magic route?
So I think magic has the coolest transformations, which is why I texted you and wanted to talk about this because they are sick. I don't know much about the physical. I've seen 1 or 2 of them. But you actually got, I'm pretty sure in the Big Hero 6 world, you got to see one of the magic keyblades from not the Coliseum. What's the other world? What's the world you go right after the Coliseum?
Twilight Town.
Right after that.
Toy Story.
It wasn't Toy Story. I don't remember. Oh well, the first
Monsters Inc.
Maybe it was Twilight Town. But you get a keyblade that the first transformation is dual pistols.
I actually never got a chance to use that.
Right, but you saw the cutscene in Big Hero 6 where he's using it.
Okay,
because he's using it, and I think Honey Lemon sees him. But anyway, so it starts off as 2 pistols, which was a pain in the ass because I play inverted for flying, but not for.
Oh, you poor thing.
But not for shooting, and so I had to keep switching back and forth because I had it on inverted for the gummy ships and aiming. But anyway,
why would you do that? That's horrible. This isn't. Okay.
And so it was nice, and the shots did magic damage, so I had a good damage. But the second form of that one was a bazooka. So yeah,
a fucking bazooka.
Yeah, and so you'd start off with these 2 pistols, semi-automatic. You'd shoot. Then you transform. He just gets a bazooka on his shoulder. You start shooting people.
The fuck did I miss in Kingdom Hearts 3 that you get a goddamn bazooka?
Right, like I said, the Magic Man had some great routes. And then its final was just a big shot, like pretty much like the Buster final for the rides. So that's the first Magic Keyblade. Do you want me to explain the rest, or do you want to go back and forth?
I mean, what's your favorite Keyblade in general with all the ones you got?
Keyblade. Oh,
the what Keyblade?
Nice, from Frozen.
Okay.
I'll do a quick one for the Tangled one because that was the other one I used pretty regularly. It was nice because when you dodged, you created a Mirage because it was called the Mirage Keyblade, and when you attacked, they all attacked too. And so that was definitely nice.
That sounds pretty cool, actually. Yeah.
And its second form, you just dashed around everywhere, kind of like the second form for the main Keyblade. But the Frozen Keyblade, definitely my favorite.
Brandon had a weird glazed look over his eyes for half a second there as he thought about it. Drool coming from his lips.
After I got that, I actually didn't try any other Keyblades, so I can't say much for that. So anyway, so you start out, and you do your combos, and then your first form are claws. You get ice claws, and you just fucking go hand. Think like Rogue. You're dancing all over the place, hitting these motherfuckers, and you can fly. So you get glide early with this Keyblade. And so, you're hitting them and everything, and then your final for the combo is you send out 2 icicles just straight ahead. And so it did magic damage as a physical attack. So that was nice. Once I got that Keyblade, the game became so much easier. And then after that, the second form for that, they turn from daggers into swords. So you get giant swords on your arms.
Oh, jeez. Are you Zed at this point? Jeez.
Yeah, you just fucking go ham and everything. And you have dash attack. So if you jump in the air and you sword them, you'll just fucking go in and stab them if they're far away. Yeah,
I thought you were magic. Why are you going with swords and shit? What the fuck's going on here?
So, and it did magic damage, and I just never switched back from that Keyblade. Its final attack froze enemies randomly, so that was always nice. But
that sounds awesome. It sounds like you have some crowd control a lot more than what Strength did.
Oh, it was so. I love those Keyblades.
My guess is because it's based on the Frozen world, and Elsa, who has the powers, was more of a builder with her magic. So that would make sense as to why it gave him physical. That Keyblade would give you physical attacks.
But I definitely appreciated it for sure. And then like I said, I didn't try any other Keyblades except for the one you get with the Riku and Aqua fights and stuff like that.
The Riku? I mean, I know the fight, but I don't.
Well, you use their Keyblades.
Wait, what?
You use their Keyblades during the fights.
Oh, do you? Okay, fair enough.
So,
for me, I won't talk about too many of them. Besides the one that I used all the way to the end once I discovered it, is the one that you get from Pirates of the Caribbean.
That's the one I saw.
It's so nice because the secondary form for this Keyblade is you get a pole arm. And the pole arm, whenever you hit enough with the combo, you'll start doing a flurry of hits with it, with multiple pole arms, just shooting everywhere forward and just piercing them. And then if they try to attack you, you can activate it early with a jump and then attack. So you can time people's attacks instead of trying to parry it. You can finish off the combo, which at the end of it, Sora disappears. He flashes and blinks above the enemy player and then drops about 10 of these polearms into the enemy. And so whenever you see that, so when you see somebody that's getting ready to do a big attack towards you that isn't invincible and you'll still take damage, you just you activate the end of the combo and then you just drop above them. It's such a great way to finish off an enemy that you're like really panicking, like, oh god, she has half a bar. My MP still needs to recharge. I'm going to blink above them, and it just gives you that extra couple of seconds to get away from them while still doing damage at the same time. And these, the activation of that into the third form, if you want to call it that. Do we call it the third form? I don't even know. We don't even call it that.
I was calling it second form for the final form.
Oh, no. Okay, sure. It turns into a flag, which is really weird. It almost feels like I'm in charge of color guard for the marching band or something at this point. Also felt like Joan d'Arc from part of the Fate series. Has a badass flag, and so I'm just whipping around this cool red flag, which the graphic design on the flag is very well done with the physics and all that stuff. And it does finish with its ultimate attack being basically summons a bunch of the Kraken's tentacles slapping everywhere. Gives a very long period of time of invincibility, which is very critical, especially if you're low in health and you're trying to wait for a full MP bar to heal yourself. So it was very nice and useful. I think I appreciate it mostly, like I said, is it gave me ample of time to delay whenever I needed to heal myself, because Brandon was playing on proud mode. I was playing on normal mode, but I was getting my ass kicked by a lot of these fights. Brandon can only imagine a couple of the fights where 13 of the same fuckers are coming at you at the same time, and you're praying to your gods.
That last fight after the or right before the final boss, that got me over and over again.
It is an experience. What else do you think we should talk about here, Nick?
Okay, so we talked about the Keyblades and how much fun that is with all the different forms, and how open the playstyle is to suit just about any kind of player, I imagine.
Open, like the gummy ships.
Yeah.
What about the gummy ships?
I didn't give it much time as I usually do. I usually really enjoy the gummy ship system, but
did you make a gummy ship?
I did. I made it El Doggo because I bought the giant dog.
Oh. And I made the SS Booty Sweat just to CFR.
Nice, classy.
I got to level 50 and I was not satisfied with the building cap that they placed at that point, because I think I know this won't make any sense to you, Nick, but I think we start at like maybe 500-600. By the time I hit level 50, from 1 to 50, I think the build cap of these block values that we could use was 1200.
Okay.
1200. So 50 levels and we could barely double the size of a ship, or use higher class weapons. It was just frustrating because it's like in Kingdom Hearts 2 at this point, with how much time I put into the Gummy ship, I should be able to shoot 6 lasers and have 8 machine guns just going blazing, but I couldn't do any of that. And
Right.
Yeah.
I understand if they were trying to restrict it, but it just felt like, why give me let me go to level 50 and still do next to shit.
That was my concern. Is it's a single player game. Why restrict it? Like, let people build the ships that they want to build.
I don't know. Is there a level, like a cap of like 200 or something, where eventually I'll hit 2,000-3,000? I can finally build the ship I actually enjoy, because the SS Booty Sweat is not technical at all. It did not do the job the way I wanted it to. Honestly, like I min-maxed, like I'll slow as heck, but I can at least do damage and stuff like that. And but after a while, yeah, a slow roll. I fat rolled Dark Souls style. Jeez,
roll out.
But yeah.
So gameplay wise, how does it compare to Kingdom Hearts 2? I'm talking about original Kingdom Hearts 2 that came out, in 2005, December 22nd.
What about Kingdom Hearts 2.5?
No. I'm talking about Kingdom Hearts 2 when you first played it. I don't care about the remasters. How much they improve on it? Does it feel smooth? What even is the frame rate on the
frame rate?
PS4? Yeah.
Compared to the PlayStation 2, is that fair?
No. I'm just talking about what is is it at 60 FPS? Kingdom Hearts 3?
It depends on your system. Mine and others, I believe, are 30, because you don't have a PS4 Pro, do you?
That is correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
But as far as combat goes, and even just visuals, it's a completely different game than Kingdom.
I don't think I have seen any dips at all in any of the fights of like low frames or anything like that at one point. Have you?
I think so, but that's just because with Magic, there's so much going on.
Oh, okay.
Lots of particles and a lot of physics. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, cool. Yeah, I was just
sorry. It's the frozen boss. When it does
the wolf.
When it does its meteor, and it's got all of the things raining down and all of the enemies flying around, and I'm trying to shoot fireballs at them. And
there is a boss in the Frozen world that Brandon's trying to describe, where mid-fight it will summon a giant comet-like moon, where you have a time limit to defeat enemies below it before it crashes down and instantly kills you.
Okay.
Sorry, a Koopa?
Yeah.
A Koopa coin?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then you could survive it.
Now, what were you talking about with having trouble with that boss fight?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh man, that boss could one-shot me. It did that 1-2 swipe, and then it did both hands. And when it did that both hands, how it could travel across the entire arena. If I wasn't keeping a close enough eye on it, that would one-shot me every time.
Were you able to parry that?
I just dodge rolled out of it. So
you poor thing.
Usually it was dodge rolling into him because I was out of MP and I could get off a few smacks because I didn't have the frozen keyblade, obviously, at this point.
Right. You would have gotten it right after that.
Yeah. Oh man, it'd been a completely different fight if I had it for that. But anyway.
What's your favorite fight?
I would say the wolf was probably my favorite fight.
Really?
Just because I had died 40 or 50 times before I finally beat it. I had to memorize every move that it did, and every once in a while I would just get unlucky, and it was a nice fight just because of how difficult it was for me.
I'm trying to think what would be my favorite fight, and honestly, I couldn't tell you. I don't think there's a legit time where I could say this was. I mean, the ending fights were obviously the most memorable ones, but like one where I just had a stupid amount of fun. I really couldn't put my finger on one.
Monsters Inc. final boss. I didn't actually think it was the final boss because
the oil boss thing.
Yeah, it was super easy, like because I had just gotten the frozen keyblade, so.
Fancy you, Bray! Yeah. Look at me.
It was super easy, and like it didn't feel like a final boss. It felt like a midway boss. And so beat it, and then he's like, "Oh, you beat in this world. Good job." It's like, "Oh, okay, cool. I guess we're done."
I mean, technically, it would be a midway boss if you count the Heartless Grim Reaper at the end of the game. That would be the final boss of that world.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I
Still
guess.
disappointed by that.
So,
All right, so gameplay wise, in general, outside of the two of you who've played it, the general feedback on the internet is gameplay feels good. It's a game that they were happy to play through. Feels exactly like what they would have wanted out of so long, and with what kind of modern systems we have now to run these games. So let's get to the actual, or
Well,
at least the biggest reason why people play, which is
just
the story.
what you said, and the big question was, how is it compared to Kingdom Hearts 2? Kingdom Hearts 2 had basically two notable things. The first one was it had different forms, Valor Form, Wisdom Form, Final Form, which was awesome. We now have different unique versions of that combined with what Keyblade we use. The other thing was if we wanted to, we could team up with the hero of that world in Kingdom Hearts 2 and do a special attack. That is still the case in Kingdom Hearts 3, but it doesn't use our full fucking bar of mana every single time. Right. And it allows us to be more diverse. Along with that, we also have the magical Disney rides, which we can do. And those are kind of weird a lot of the times. It felt out of place.
My ass a lot of times.
Did they? Because a lot of times I would use it and they still damage me. I'm like, fuck, it hurt. Ow.
Well, they'd still damage me, but they usually put out so much damage for me. I was a big fan of the Blaster one because I would just fire off the big shot just for damage and then end it.
And with that in mind, Nick, it does offer a lot wider range of abilities to attack and heal and delay stuff. But at the same time, it felt like it gave them the option to turn these bosses into motherfucking Keyblade sponges, I guess you'd call it at this point. It just felt like they had a lot more health than your average boss over at Kingdom Hearts 2.
Right.
We also had links as well.
Yes, the D-links.
I never used.
Really?
It used my MP bar. I think if I could change something about the game, I would make it used like how Cure does for links, where it uses the rest of your MP bar. You had to have a full MP bar to be able to use it.
Oh, really? Okay, that makes sense. For Nick, links are essentially summons for us. So we got the summon like the spirits of previous characters like Simba or Wreck-It Ralph and whatnot. And the big benefit of that, especially for a strength user who could give two shits about his MP, is it uses the full bar, but it heals us to full health. And so It was a great way to both delay, heal, and then hopefully do a lot of damage at the same time. And it was very nice. Now, as Brandon with the magic user, it was kind of screwing him over, so he wasn't able to get the chance to use as much as he would like.
I never used aerials or stitches.
If it makes it feel better, neither did I. Actually, I used stitch once.
If they made it to where it was the remaining MP bar was the percentage of your heal. So if you just had a little bit left, Curago will heal you all the way, but if you wanted to do some damage, you could use the link, get a little heal, and do some damage. But I didn't design Kingdom Hearts 3, so I don't get any say in that.
Oh, no, you would think. Hey,
all right, so
makes it feel better. I used Kira until like 2/3 of the way into the fight because I didn't realize I had Kira. Nick, I keep cutting you off. Story,
it's all good. No, it's fine. Story, yeah. So I can't tell you anything about the story.
Yeah, you can. Isn't there someone called Xehanort or something like that?
So some people do some bad things, and then these other people try to stop the bad people from doing the things, and then at the end of the day, it's kind of a happy ending, but really bittersweet. And some people are upset about it. Some people are not so happy about it.
All right, well that's
about it. Thank you for covering it for us, Nick. Jesus.
Yeah, all right, no problem. Yeah, I just stole your spotlight. But
should I cross my arms now to let Nick know he can walk back in? Jeez.
What is going on with the story, Tyler? You've shared some frustrations, and I believe the opening 30 seconds to this segment was also some frustrations about you and Brandon shared over what happened at the end. Floor is yours.
Go ahead, Brandon.
I was going to say, we really don't have to talk about the worlds much.
No, it's interesting because the Disney worlds have an excellent premise, but they were actually completely side stories at the same time.
The only important thing that you can say with them is, we're constantly harassed by the True Organization because they're looking for backup lights in case we can't get everybody. And that was pretty much their whole premise.
Right. The logic is they need 13 guys on their side, and apparently we're only supposed to get 7. And they're like, well, if these dumbasses fuck up and they don't get 7, or they get 7 bad people or something like that, we should get our own. And it's like, oh, that's kind of weird, but okay. And at the same time, like I said, it felt like Disney Worlds were kind of like levels that had good stories and whatnot, and I really enjoyed them, but they were mostly meant to introduce each of the organization like once or twice in the cutscenes, and then just grind up for the levels, because they didn't want it to make it solely Kingdom Hearts. They wanted to put some Disney in there.
And of course to give us Keyblades.
That is also true. Brandon, I got nothing but complaints coming up. Is there anything you want to nice to say before I start throwing this thing through the mud?
No.
Okay, get ready. So, my first complaint is the new heroes that join us, namely Lee, aka now Axel, by his request for some reason, who wears the same fucking coat that he was supposed to take off like eons ago, the Organization 13 coat.
It's because of Roxas and Xion.
Yeah, I guess, but at the same time, it's like he changes into it at the end of the game anyways to be with them, so it doesn't even fucking matter. And so it's like, oh, I'm gonna I need to wear this skin tight thing, even though somehow I grew an extra 1.5 feet taller, and it still fits me just fine.
Wii toys, if he changes outfits,
then they can make fucking Barbies and customize it. Lee frustrated me because I understand he was emotionally discordant throughout most of the game because he misses his friends because he can't remember one of them until the last 30 seconds of meeting this other person. That is not the person I'm really concerned about here. Kairi. Hello, Kairi. Now, Kairi's been a important, if not pivotal, character among the original trio of the Kingdom Hearts series. She's the one that unfortunately needs to be often rescued because, this game is often chauvinistic. However, I would like to say that they've made leaps and bounds to try to give, a more proper representation to other genders here. And so Kairi is going to be the badass with the Keyblade. There's a problem with this. In Kingdom Hearts 3, in comparison, let me back up here for a half second here. In Kingdom Hearts 2, Kairi is given a Keyblade by Ansem/Riku, who in a cutscene, I believe, destroys like maybe 5 or 6 Heartless by swinging it 5 or 6 times. Kairi swings her Keyblade in that one cutscene more than the entire time in Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah.
And it is so upsetting. Like all this, months and year or whatever of training that she got to do, she didn't use her Keyblade damn once.
I mean, if you stopped in the labyrinth and watched for a little bit,
yeah, if you wanted to stare at her, that counts as like I waited 3 times just to rack up the thing to give her thing, because there's a section where you can like choose on who you're gonna help, and so you can watch this fight. Even though this is a giant half-mile by half-mile square room, there's some reason sitting right at the doorway there just to show you who's fighting who. And you can see her fight there. But other than that, in any cutscene, she is not fighting. She's not swinging her Keyblade. She's just nervously posing. She's what?
She's too busy talking.
She's too busy.
They were surrounded by Heartless before, I mean, I guess no spoilers, before Yen Sid shows up. She's sitting there just talking anytime the camera comes to her while everybody else is killing Heartless. I think she kills like 1 or 2, and then she's back to talking.
It's just upsetting because she had such an opportunity to blossom as a character with this, despite having such a passive role. In the second game, she just keeps getting kidnapped and kidnapped and kidnapped, and it's really upsetting. It's like, give her a chance to finally be her own thing. They do that for Kingdom Hearts 3, starting with Dream Drop Distance. And what does she do at the very end of the game? She gets fucking kidnapped.
Ooh,
again.
Kidnapped and
kidnapped and then murked.
She was
like, she was decimated without swinging her Keyblade more than 8 times. Just like, I swung my Keyblades 20 times for my training. I'm ready. And it's like, the requirements was actually 50 times. It's just upsetting.
Must be at least this tall to not die.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Brandon. In terms of like the other people in the team of 7, I mean, I think my favorite part was probably out of the 7 was Aqua.
Yeah.
When you finally discover Aqua and she's part of,
Like,
you're too late. I was like, oh, I had like 15 minutes to get to work. I'm like, oh shit. I started panicking, Brandon.
And along the same line with hers too, I thought it was really cool how she was responsible for Castle Oblivion.
Yes.
I thought that was a cool tie back.
Yes, the fact that she turned Castle Oblivion, just uses I believe it was Master Ericus's Keyblade to return it back to its original form. Just watching it go from this weird, I don't even know what you would call that thing, a hell of a puzzle, back into what looks like a normal place. I'm like, oh, okay.
That's
that
why
explains
maze.
That explains the entirety of Chain of Memories, the second game of Kingdom Hearts in a nutshell. Great, fantastic.
Fucking Aqua.
Fucking Aqua. Fucking Ventus.
Yeah.
Ventus finally waking up.
Although the Ventus Roxas situation was funny later on.
Okay, wait, what's going on here? Just the fact that they look like each other, or
yeah, when they finally joined back onto you in the labyrinth, Axel's like, "Sorry, we're a little late. We had a few plot points to cover up."
Oh, jeez.
And Roxas and Ventus just look at each other.
Yeah, that was another scene.
The same.
In like the first third of the game, where most of the people team up in the main room after rescuing Aqua, and it was pretty much like each of these like 10 characters at this point or whatever were like putting it like, I know you, I have no idea who you are, and they're trying to explain the web interconnection of like 7 different games of this guy knows this guy but hates this guy but is okay with this guy. Yeah. But this guy has no idea who they all are, and it's just weird.
Also, I thought it was weird that Roxas, finally came back, and Sora just does nothing.
Yeah, it's like
first half of the game is we've got to find a body for Roxas, and then back and Sora's like, oh, cool, Roxas is here.
Yeah, he's back. I have no idea why, but sure, okay, cool. It's like Roxas's heart should have been inside Sora, so he should have noticed something going on here, but I guess not. Sure, plot point.
Well, I think what it was they used a dark portal to drop the replica's body out right when Sora released the heart, I guess.
Okay.
Where did the body come from?
Okay. I mean, the body came from Radiant Dawn. We know that because Vexen brought it to them.
We were in the Keyblade graveyard, though. How did the body get there?
How did a lot of this shit happen, Brandon?
Dark portals.
Okay, I got something that I actually don't fully understand. Maybe you can help me out here. Do you remember the time that you're riding on 1,000 different Keyblades to fight against the Keyblade Horde? Or sorry, the Heartless Horde. Why was there a shit ton of names? Are these
actually really cool? I actually remember reading this a while ago, and I didn't remember until I saw this. Those are actually contest winners from Unchained Key or Union Cross, the mobile game. They had a raid. And if you performed in the top 100, you got your name added to that list. And so that's the names are their in-game names, and then you see what faction they joined to the right.
Oh, okay, cool.
It was actually really cool. So, like, obviously, you're playing it in this moment. It's actually pretty badass. And then they pop up. It's like, oh shit, I remember that. And I was like, man, I should have done that. I could have had Zigzagoon on there, but
yeah, okay, sure. But
I could have been in the top 100.
It didn't make sense to me because I think that was beyond my understanding, but it almost felt like Nier Automata at that point, where it's like, we're going to have random people help you in this moment, even though like 10 minutes ago you were stupid dead.
Right. Yeah, that was
dead, Brandon.
Repeating it again, it threw me off guard.
Yeah, some time travel level shit. It's weird. It's like there's time travel in this game.
And they even went back to the chess game, and they're like, oh, you just got to go back in time. It felt like playing Doki Doki Literature Club.
Okay, so wrapping up towards the end here, we have to fight the 13 people. Everybody dies. Oh, not everybody, sorry. We beat the first 10 of the 13 organization, which each one of them has their own sob story. First 9?
Yeah, because then we have Grandmaster Xehanort, and then we have young Xehanort, Xemnas, and
Ansem, Seeker of Darkness.
Yeah.
Okay, I forgot that young Xehanort was in that.
Yeah, right. Didn't really do much.
Yeah, that's true. So each time you defeat them, they have their own weird backstory. You defeat them like, actually, I really didn't have anything to do with this. I could give 2 shits. I'm like, that's weird. You're supposed to be possessed by Xemnas or Ansem.
Oh, I just realized something.
What did you realize?
When Braig dies, he doesn't
Yeah.
actually die.
No, he leaps to the wall and falls back.
It just and then he makes his weapons disappear, so it looks like he died. Huh.
Huh? Yeah. You know, and
Yeah.
are you ready for this weird shit right here, Brandon?
Mhm.
Do you remember what happens at the very end of Hercules, Thebes? What's her name? Maleficent and Pete find the Pandora's box, and they're like, "Yeah, this isn't the box we want." And Zigbar is sitting over it. Do you remember what he says?
Something about hope, isn't it?
May your heart be your guiding, and then it cuts off, meaning he knew what the phrase was and was one of the Keyblade wielders of past. They used that as some kind of hint to suggest that he might have been part of something a little bit bigger here, which is, you know, part of the ending movie here. So you destroy most of the Organization 13 as one should.
Again.
Yes. At the very end, you're facing, you know, the final four. Old Man Xehanort holds Kairi and melts her after the fight. You defeat. It's weird because when you defeat Xemnas, he's like, you know, I kind of regret everything anyway. So I'm like, that's the first time you have ever heard that character say, I didn't want to do this shit. I'm kind of sick of it. And hell, even defeating the Heartless
time, wouldn't you feel like,
yeah, like
I'm fucking done.
Even Heartless Xehanort is like, I knew this show was going to happen. I'm like, why did you fight then? Just say, fuck it, bugger off. Go have some tea. Thanos off or something.
Oh, yeah, keep going. I have something to say about the final boss.
And so after that happens, we have to take on Old Man Xehanort because I don't know what happened with young Xehanort. And everybody's waving to Amanda. And so I don't remember what happened with young man Xehanort. I'm pretty sure he's like, oh, I'll just go back to my time because I know where everything's going to happen. Her.
Well, it's time for me to go live a normal life now. Like, geez, he just gets off scot-free.
And so he kills Kairi as the 13th key he apparently needs to make the Keyblade, which is, you know, I was about to make the X, but that might give Nick the hint that he should come back and listen, which is bad. And he summons fucking Kingdom Hearts, the big no we were worried about in the whole damn first place. None of it fucking mattered. The past 25 hours did not matter because he was going to do it anyways. He was able to pull it off. And so they come up with this bullshit at the very end here saying, hey, if we send this motherfucker back into time where he can't do this, supposedly, everything will be okay, even though he took over Kingdom Hearts and he's making the world into darkness. Did that work, Brandon?
I mean, yeah, technically.
It sent him back in time, but he still had the Keyblade that he could use to summon Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, I mean...
Which he did.
I didn't see it as going back in time as much as just going across worlds.
I mean, they sent him back to, which I believe was... I could be mistaken. You got to remember, Xehanort's homeland was stated lore-wise as Destiny Islands. So I wonder if that was the original, you know, the remnants of where Destiny Islands was. That's why I thought he got sent back in time.
From what I understood, that was just where the school was for Keyblade wielders.
Which I guess makes sense. But in any case, he gets sent over here and he's like, you guys didn't take the key away from me. I can summon again. You know that, right? And we have, Brandon, the hardest fucking fight. It's just... I don't understand why. Why does he have 13 different people now that have nothing to do with the organization, but they still have hoods and shit?
They're remnants.
Are they?
They're the remnants of the keys when he made the Keyblade.
Okay. I believe you.
Yeah. From what I understood.
There's so much fucking to talk about. Just thinking about... I'm glad that every single game got their happy ending.
Yeah,
like each time you did a little section of the labyrinth, you're like, oh, the game for the, you know, Birth by Sleep for PSP got resolved. Everybody's happy over there. Oh, you know,
Over 2 is done.
Yep, everybody's happy. Shio and Axel and Rexus are holding hands and cuddling over here in this corner.
We even have Syx too. Issa.
Yeah, Syx and fucking Axel will get their happy ending of sorts, kind of, before he disappears into nothingness.
I keep remembering things I want to talk about. Let me say about the final boss fight. Why the fuck did they put an underwater section in it?
Okay, so Armored Xehanort, which is the penultimate boss.
Oh, the goat.
Yes. It's funny because I was looking at it, I was like, why the fuck is this bald ass man with the Keyblade have a giant goat mask? And it took me a moment to realize he has Keyblade armor just like everybody else does in Birth by Sleep. But no one else even mentions that ever. Even Sora doesn't even know he has Keyblade armor.
He's even protected by Ventus's. He's not even protected by his when he goes into the darkness.
It doesn't make sense, but what the fuck ever. Yeah, that fight was hard as shit.
Made the joke because it was a Billy goat, so Billy Zane goat during that fight. Because I had to do it a couple times, obviously. It was.
I actually spent the most time in the first section of the fight. I seriously thought I was not going to be able to beat it at this rate because it was just too hard. But I did a lot of, maybe not cheating, but cutting corners. Nick unmuted himself. He's a little bit nervous there.
No, all I'm gonna say is out of 10. After 2 weeks, after all the frustrations, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would each of you rate Kingdom Hearts 3? After all the expectations, after all the hopes, after all the waiting, 14 years since original Kingdom Hearts 2 release, more than that since the whole franchise started, all the different spin-off games, the amount of rants you've been on, Tyler, trying to explain what Xehanort is to me. To me, everybody is Xehanort now. That's all I care. That's all I understand. See, and you're getting more confusing for me, and I'm just not even going to try. I'm really just not going to try. So on a scale of 1 to 10, final verdict for each of you.
So the final boss fight was very, very annoying, but I learned to parry very quickly. That's for fucking sure.
When he goes into the stained glass phase, I guess. I don't know what better way to call it.
Where it sucks away your light?
Yeah. No, right after that. You get your light back.
Oh, when you're on the 13 pedestal fight section.
Yeah, and he fucking just sends everything at you right away. I got one shot by that so many times because the fight would restart. I would forget about it, and then
you would start at the very beginning too. Every single time you did the final fight, it was so frustrating.
I would say 8.5 because I'm still pissed off at the end.
I would say an 8 out of 10. I know a lot of people keep saying 9 out of 10, 9.5 out of 10. Kingdom Hearts 2 in my head, with it in its place and time, I gave it a 9 out of 10 in my head. I'm actually placing Kingdom Hearts 3 lower than that. Even though there's so much more benefits to it, the way they handled the story and tried to just bum rush it at the very, very end was magnificent. But it was like an orgasm that just kept going, and I didn't understand what was happening at that point. I had no idea what was going on, and it just like they kept dropping bomb after bomb on me. It freaked me the fuck out. I didn't understand.
The final world was like 75% cutscenes, 25% fighting.
Yeah, like the cutscenes just got ridiculous. Where it's like they spent the last 45 minutes just like tying loose ends left and right, and it was just infuriating. I'm like, okay, that got solved. I guess that got solved. I mean, this was worse than Metal Gear Solid 4 at this point. There's so many damn loose ends.
I think the reason why I gave it a little bit lower too is because I thought the writing was really childish.
I was really scared when I was playing Thieves, the Hercules one, with the way that they were talking to each other, like super slow and choppy. I'm like, is this really how it's gonna be?
Yeah, but I mean, it was a fun game. I enjoyed it, and I'm glad that a lot of the story happened the way that it did. I wish it could have expanded out. I'm surprised. I expected at least one more set of worlds.
Yeah, there's only 7 worlds, and one of them was Twilight Town. It didn't make sense because I was expecting at least 9 or 10, but that ended really shortly. When I saw this, this giant, horrible-looking supernova thing that was on the gunship map, I'm like, wait, is that the end? No, this is probably the halfway point. Like I looked at my wife, I'm like, this must be the halfway point before we keep going to revisit the worlds or something. No, it's not. As it turns out, that was the pathway towards going to the end, and that was frightening. Brandon, did you do any of the mini games or the cooking stuff or anything like that?
I did cooking a little bit. I played all of the different types just because I wanted to try it out. Killed it, rocked it. I can cook. One thing that surprised me, and I was going to mention this earlier when you were talking about fully voice acting, Remy from Ratatouille, they never called him Remy. They just called him Little Chef, and he never talked. I thought that was really
Does
weird.
Remy talk in Little Chef?
Yeah, he talks and he's got a name. And
Oh, the rat's name is Remy.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
I didn't know that.
Little Chef, and it was really weird to me. I had to look it up and see if anybody mentioned it.
I'd never seen Ratatouille, so I just assumed he didn't talk. But it was another victim of no voice acting.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
It was really weird, but I enjoyed the cooking. I used it on the frozen boss because obviously after dying enough times, like I'm gonna give myself the advantages that I can. It's in the game. Give me some more health.
So part of why it might be purely because Ratatouille was made by Pixar. Despite Pixar being currently owned by Disney, there might have been some issues there because Kingdom Hearts is a third party in Disney's eyes, right?
But they didn't have issues with any of the other Pixar games.
Yeah, Toy Story.
This is just speculation. Like, I don't know what's going on there, but yeah, no, that is weird. Okay, well, that's Kingdom Hearts 3.
Nick in the chat is arguing that Remy does not actually talk directly to humans. So since you're playing from the perspective of Sora most of the time, maybe he doesn't talk to you because of that.
All right, well, that's at least one part, but why don't they call him Remy?
A good question.
It's a very good question.
Why call him Little Mouse?
Where's fucking Star Wars?
Yeah, that's it.
Where's Iron Man? Where's Hulk? Where's the Avengers? See, honestly, if they threw in the Avengers,
Final Fantasy characters?
I would have gone to like find a good deal on a PS4. Honestly,
no, there weren't any.
No, we didn't get to go to Hollow Bastion or Radiant Garden where they would have been at, but they didn't show anything.
Rebuilding the world, we could have seen the rebuilt.
Are we going to go to Midgar, in the next game or something like that?
Yeah, I just realized that. I didn't even think about that. I thought this was
the
next game.
We're 40 minutes into this Kingdom Hearts 3 section.
Who gives a shit? We're going down with this thing.
The ending. Can we talk about the ending, Nick?
Let's talk about the ending.
All right. So
go ahead, Brandon.
When you finally beat him, the moon turns into a sun for some reason, and Xehanort says, "Time for the purge." And
this is some Dead Space 3 level shit. Like, it turns out he wanted it so he could destroy everything because he wants the cycle of light and darkness to continue. What the fuck?
Which, listening to it, I was like, okay, he makes some good points, but then Sora comes back with, well, it's not your decision to make. And I was like, yeah, that's a pretty good point too.
I mean, technically, if we're his heritage of teachers and, from the Master of Masters were to be suggested, maybe it was his position. I don't know. And it's funny because when he starts saying points, you're starting to agree with him. I realized the meme when somebody's like pouring a drink when it's like, when you're starting to agree with what the villain is saying.
Right. But then he says, or Sora says, we got to stop this. And he's like, it's too late. But I guess it's not too late because all of a sudden the sky shatters and everybody comes down, all of the light.
Yes, all the heroes, because like I said, I thought he got sent through time and space away from this original conflict. Everybody comes in anyways, I guess, because they just had to wait.
Followed Sora's part.
Yeah, after 3 hours of us trying to fight, these last two bosses.
But yeah, it was really weird, and then of course, Ericus' heart comes out of Terra. And Xehanort's like, yeah, you're right.
Why?
GG. And then
why is Ericus okay? So Ericus was hiding in Terra's heart,
right? Which we kind of speculated that.
Did we?
If you played the Dream,
the closest thing we had to speculate about Terra is that Terra was the Heartless of Terranort, which turned out to be fucking true as shit. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
When you feed Terranort and the Heartless behind him rips off his bandage and says, I've been waiting a long time for this asshole.
That was intense.
Anyway, the final thing.
So he pops out and says, haha, you lose, checkmate. And he just gives up. He's like, yeah, you're right. I'm old. Let's go home, friend. And he's like, what? Like,
let's go fuck off.
And then the only way I could justify that in my head was Xehanort is intelligent and he knows, like, fuck, there's no way I can beat this kid now. Let's just try to go out amicably, and
even though I have the blade.
Yeah, and let's just end it. We're good. GG, you guys won. No,
So a question I had was, with Kingdom Hearts 3 sort of attempting and chaotically, from what I understand, to bring in all these different storylines and try to make sense of everything. Have they set themselves up for Kingdom Hearts 4?
oh yes.
Oh yeah. You asked me that last time, and I
Yeah.
told you I didn't know. Of course, with the secret movie, it suggests that there's a lot more going on in the mix. With
Oh.
Brandon,
Sorry, Nick said something that made sense.
what do you mean?
Trying to tell them that his name is Remy, so they call him Little Chef because he never told him his name.
Oh, that is
That
true.
is canon now. All right.
In the ending scene, it focuses more on the Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, the mobile game, because the ending scene shows all the what do you call them, union leaders appearing, or no, not even that. I don't think they're union leaders. Most of them, they were the students of the Master of Masters, who is never mentioned in any other fucking Kingdom Hearts game. They just appear in this desert, meeting from different angles. And the fifth member, Lushu, comes out with the black box that Maleficent and Pete has been searching since the beginning of the game. They were a fucking red herring. And Lushu, who's supposed to be one of the 5 students from like hundreds of years ago, pops off his hood, and it turns out to be
Break. Fucking
who is a repeating and occurring character since Kingdom Hearts 2. Has no purpose or reason for this role at all.
But I did think it was an intelligent way to do it. It was really unexpected. But Break can't steal the all-seeing eye Keyblade. So he does have to wait till Xehanort gives it to him. Bequeathing ceremony. And he needs to open the box.
I mean, if I were to guess, I'm guessing Lushu bequeathed the blade actually to him at one point. Because Xehanort had that Keyblade for a while after getting it. I mean, you see it on the wall in the very beginning of the game where he's playing chess, and it shows the no-name Keyblade. And so hypothetically, I don't know what this means specifically. Does that mean that this is Xehanort, who was originally Lushu or something like that took over Bragg and he kept going? Does that mean that Lushu has been playing the fucking idiot all this damn time?
That's what I think.
I mean, it makes sense. It's weird because in a lot of the times, like the final talks between Bragg and the player, like in Kingdom Hearts 2, he's like, he used to give me that same look too. Which he was talking potentially about Roxas, but he could easily have been talking about other characters from different games. And then, of course, in the final cutscene between Xigbar versus Sora and the team, he's like, oh, I am worthy of the Keyblade. Yeah, because he fucking has a Keyblade already. He's just been playing the pawn just to humor along, because his goal as Lushu is to observe the events of Kingdom Hearts at all times, and he's been doing a fucking good job of it, apparently.
Up close. But yeah, then after that we get the cutscene of Sora and friends,
which is a hidden movie. Oh no, sorry, you're talking about the ending credits, aren't you?
When
over on Destiny Island.
No, before that, when he says, "Oh, I've got to go save Kairi," and Mickey's like, "No, don't," and Riku's like, "Let him," and Mickey,
let him die.
He says, "The power of waking isn't supposed to be used like this. You'll die." And Sora says, LOL. And he goes off, and then we get the island cutscene. But you take over that one.
It shows everybody all happy and back. Kairi's in back and shit, and Sora's.
Oh yeah, we kind of skipped a couple cutscenes. We skipped all of the people getting back with their groups.
Yeah, well, I mean, everybody's happy and shit. I'm not going to talk about each one of them. As Nick pointed out, we're probably 45, 50 minutes into this.
Can I say, though, I'm glad that they didn't leave out Hayner, Pince, and Olette in the Axel, Lee, Xion cutscene. I thought that was cool.
That is cool. And thankfully, Sora is dead. For good.
Because we had this happy cutscene. Everybody's on the island, and then it pans over, and you see Kairi and Sora sitting on a tree, holding hands in the sunset, and then Sora fucking disappears. And I was so
and then cut the black.
I was so happy, and I was like, cool, we're finally at a good spot. The story's good. There doesn't need to be another game. And then Sora disappears. It's like, fuck.
Kingdom Hearts 4.
Or
To
you know,
reconnect.
in before 3.2, 3.5, 3.8, 3.9, and then we finally get to 4.
55 years old to finish the story.
And so with the secret movie giving a even maybe like a minor detail as to what to expect here, and Brandon he was playing on proud mode. You can activate the secret movie by getting lucky emblems, which are little emblems that appear across the game that you use your fucking Snapchat smartphone to take pictures of. Brandon only needed 30, I needed 60. The secret movie is kind of weird. Brandon was trying to explain it to me in a different way, but it shows a cutscene of Sora and Riku in what appears to be a real life world in Tokyo. It did show, I believe, Sora near the what looked like one of the police precinct, which is actually real there in Tokyo, and so it didn't make sense why the fuck he was in the real world. Now, Brandon, you were saying something different.
Because I had to look it up because I was curious. Apparently, the big 101 that you see in there is from another game called The World Ends With You, which is another Square Enix game.
Yes.
And so apparently that was where the main city is and the main, mission area of the game. And so apparently it's a very noticeable thing. And so he was in that world, whereas we see Riku in Verum Rex, which is what we see in the cutscene during Toy Story, because we see the main character whose name is Yozora.
Roxas. What?
I think his name was Yozora. They kept thinking that Sora was Yozora, and so Yozora looking down on Riku from a different world. And so I think it's a teaser of Kingdom Hearts 4 is going to have these two games in it.
I was hoping that you're going to say that there was no Disney worlds and it was all Final Fantasy, and they're going to go through Square Enix worlds.
Well, I like Nick Axel Bullet's theory that Final Fantasy VII is the next Kingdom Hearts game.
That would be interesting to go through each of the Kingdom Hearts worlds. I would be okay with that.
Cloud just being like, "What the fuck is this shit?
Where the fuck are you guys back?
Is it Genova?"
Oh boy, oh boy.
I want to see his reaction with Aerith. Did you see that Valentine's post that was going around? It says, "Lady, if you keep praying, one day your love will fall upon you." And it was of Aerith.
Oh man.
I was like, okay, Jesus.
Oh man.
But yeah, the final cutscenes were upsetting.
Yes, it really shakes the player up when they listen and watch it. Like us, like loosely describing it will not do it the justice that it deserves.
They were so happy.
Nick, I'd like to apologize in advance to you.
Oh, it's all good.
We ranted like a motherfucker. We wanted to talk about Kingdom Hearts. This is the first time Brandon and I were able to sit down and just nerd out after 12 or so years of waiting for this fucking thing to show up.
Understandable.
So, we'll put a little pin on it and talk about it later.
Yeah, we'll just bring this up in segments. Or just edit it out. Or we could make a special deep dive episode. I don't know.
Is the stream drop distance?
So for we wouldn't be a video game.
Got it memorized, competitor.
We wouldn't be a video game podcast if we didn't talk about relevant topics going on. We've always tried to stray from talking about news all the time, but there's just been some things that have been happening that we can't avoid.
And we'll Kingdom Hearts 3 happened.
We'll start with the happier things. Or at least kind of.
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts 3. That's happy, right?
We'll talk about the Nintendo Direct that happened just this past week.
Oh yeah, I'm excited.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
So a couple of things that were announced, and we'll spend some time on the bigger ones.
Start on the first.
Yeah, go for it.
Super Mario Maker 2. I'm super excited about that. They added a shit ton more stuff, and I don't have a Wii U since moving away from Tyler, so I haven't been able to play.
Oh no, you can't make me suffer Super Mario Maker 2 with you anymore.
I'm so excited to come out on the Switch, especially since it's going to bring in a lot more players, because there's a lot more people with the Switch than a Wii U.
Right.
I'm excited for some of the levels that you can see on there.
Super Mario Maker 2 has been announced with the release window of June this year. And I've seen some videos about it making and breaking relationships.
Oh yeah.
Mostly breaking. Ending marriages and long-term friendships. they've given us a little bit more information about Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, the 3.0 update with, I believe, Joker from Persona.
Mm-hmm.
And
That
what does
is
it say
correct.
here?
Yes.
Some new Smash themed amiibo figures are coming out.
Sure.
Sure.
Cool.
Yeah. Great. Yay. Okay.
Woo.
Then what else did they talk about? Box Boy and Box Girl. What is this? A brand new game with 270 stages, including 2-player co-op. It's the first Switch game in the Box Boy series.
Let's say I know what the Box Boy series is, but let's say a brand new game. I mean, it has 270 stages. Hopefully, brand new. They definitely worked from scratch for that one, right?
For sure. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker is getting a DLC. Marvel Ultimate Alliance Black Order. They talked a little bit about that, and that was already announced. I'm just holding off until we get to the big one. I'm pretty sure Tyler's itching to talk about that. I actually had to let him know. I had to let him know about it. The one that I really think we should talk about is Tetris 99, though.
Which
you won't catch me playing that. Sorry, but
I thought it was hilarious when they announced it, and the fact that it actually exists. It is a Tetris Battle Royale.
it is the Apex Legends killer.
Yes.
installed it on yet?
I haven't even looked it up.
My biggest surprise, because I obviously was interested, so I watched the stream, is people are playing it. Like, it doesn't take you long to get in a match with 100 people in this obscure Tetris game.
I mean, I guess that's the point we're at now, where it's just another BR, and Nintendo's like, well, what can we do that is potentially fun and that people might possibly enjoy? And it's just silly. And like, well, why don't we take a game like Tetris, which is the best-selling video game, and then turn it into a BR?
I would have thought it'd been like a Splatoon battle royale where you get 99 inklings and you're just trying to cover the sky or the ground.
Yeah, but that'd be too, on the head. That'd be too BR like.
Right. That's not allowed.
Where's our League of Legends BR? I'm sure.
Hellblade's New Sacrifice is coming to the Switch,
which is fantastic. Even though last time I cheered other people to play, it got bought out by fucking Microsoft upon doing that. But hopefully Nintendo will buy it from Microsoft and see what happens with that. But yes.
Then Deltarune, that Kevin was actually talking about a few episodes ago, is coming out for the Switch as well.
Should be interesting.
Yoshi's Crafted World. What can somebody tell me about this?
I believe the original premise was Yoshi's Yarn, which is it was like a cutesy version of Yoshi and Kirby being in yarn form and running around, and just kind of like a arts and craft version of what you would expect a Super Mario World game to be. It was very laid back, fun to play, and all that stuff. And this was the next version of that coming out.
Right.
Fire
Emblem, yeah, that was my next Fire Emblem Three Houses. Got a trailer and also a release date, which I'm just trying to look for right now, unless somebody happen to know that offhand.
I don't. So the big question is, Brandon, when's the last time you played and beaten a Fire Emblem game?
Years ago.
Which game was it? Also July 26th, for those curious.
26. Thank you, Tyler.
Mm-hmm. You see, for me, it was actually Path of Radiance for the GameCube. I did try beating Awakening, but I think I got 3/4 of the way and realized there was too much shit in the game for me to play through and beat. It was just so much.
Hold on, let me look. Yeah, for the 3DS.
Okay, fair enough. Do you think this is going to be a game that you're going to be able to pick up and beat, or do you feel like this might be a buy and a very slow burn?
I'm hoping to buy in a very slow burn. I enjoy games like this. Like I said, I'm on Langrisser now. I'll probably pick up Wargroove afterwards for my casual tactics game.
Oh, casual.
But, I really enjoyed doing a Let's Play for Valkyria Chronicles.
Go on.
That I should pick up again, but I do enjoy games like that.
All right. There's a few other things that are just coming out. Final Fantasy IX is already available on the Switch eShop. Final Fantasy VII comes out on March 26th.
Wow, the time it took from them to port that from the original console was a very short period. Wow, I'm impressed.
Assassin's Creed 3 Remaster is going to be available on the Switch as well on May 21st.
I'm sorry, I can't let that joke fall flat. I want to point out this game came out for the PlayStation 1, and I believe
I've never played a Final Fantasy game, so I believe the other person here should have picked up on that joke.
Final Fantasy 9 came out for the PlayStation 1. It's coming out on the Switch, I believe, for $30 fucking, which is more expensive than I think even its phone version. I'm sure it's out
and it's not even a remaster, as far as I understand. It's just a
port, and it's the number 18 highest selling game currently on the Switch.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, sometimes companies just want money. You know,
just the fact that people will pay that much money for that game, it's just atrocious.
It's a good game. It's $20 on Steam.
Final Fantasy 9's a good game. I mean, yeah, but
it's a good game. Not as good as 6, but it's good.
But Final Fantasy 8.
Final Fantasy 8 was hot garbage, but it'll still hold a special place.
The fuck did you just say? I will cut you. I drank way too much wine to handle you even slander 8. Yes.
Characters in 8.
All right.
Name what characters in 8?
3 characters.
Okay, you got Squall.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then you got Zell.
Okay.
And then you got Riona.
All right.
And then you got Quetus.
Cypher.
You remember the antagonist.
No, I played it. It was actually the first.
Name 3, okay?
You did.
Don't say 7 because I don't know what there's 7.
I'm impressed. I didn't expect you to use Zell. You could have also said Biggs and Wedge.
But those are the titular characters in the very beginning before it gets beat up by the Wendigo.
But yeah, it was the first Final Fantasy game that I ever played. Not the first one I've beaten though, but it'll hold a special place in my heart.
Final Fantasy 8?
Yeah.
Oh no, it's hot garbage. I was just kidding.
No, I know it is. I'm not denying that, but it'll hold a special place in my heart.
Yeah, right near the sphincter.
Right next to you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Same place. That's where I belong.
6 is the best though.
Tyler, do you want to tell us about the game that was announced that you're very excited for?
I mean, very excited for is a very loose term. I mean, should I be excited for this game?
Tyler, do you know the first Legend of Zelda game that I played?
Thankfully, that has no tie to Paper Mario, so I don't have to feel bad about this.
No.
I'm guessing
it's Game Boy.
Oh, should I guess Link's Awakening then?
Hey, how did you know?
I know, right? The only fucking game. So yeah, Link's Awakening is getting a remake thanks to the announcement of the Nintendo Switch. On Nintendo Switch, thanks to the Nintendo Direct. And wow, this was totally left field, guys. I was not expecting this one. I was honestly thinking they were going to shoot for either Link to the Past or more than likely Skyward Sword.
I was hoping Skyward Sword.
I was hoping for Skyward Sword too, but honestly, Skyward Sword did not get the highest reviews. I feel like they would have to put duct tape around Five's mouth in order for it to get out the door here.
The motion controls, though, could do so much better on the Switch.
Do you think so, though?
Yeah.
It's just it doesn't have the actual proper pointing, but we did see with Breath of the Wild that the aiming system is more than capable, to work out just fine. So yeah, I can see where that would work out just fine.
But anyway,
for that fucking beetle.
Yeah.
So
fuck that beetle in Super Smash Brothers too. By the way, it fucking grabs you and just takes you off the stage.
Yep. Yeah. Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. Is this something that you would be interested in, Nick?
Oh yes.
Would this be your first own Zelda?
No. I'm
the first Zelda that you beat.
No, I'm definitely gonna finish buy and finish Breath of the Wild before I get to the remaster of Link's Awakening.
Does that mean you're not even gonna get Link's Awakening at this point then?
No, I'm gonna get it, Tyler.
Brandon, if you're curious, Nick got it from the library for a couple of weeks, played it, enjoyed it, and then never touched it again.
Library Switch games?
Our library does, yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? That's fucking
amazing. Games too, not just Switch games.
Canada.
We've got DS, 3DS games. I believe there's some PlayStation 1 games, PS2, Xbox 360. They don't have those.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, that's a different library.
That's a Blockbuster, not a library.
I will get it, Tyler.
Nick, I give you fucking like company expenditure money. You still haven't gotten it yet.
Wait, we get money if we do this?
I will pick it up when I pick it up, Tyler.
Yeah, you will. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll talk more about it in 2020 then.
So this is the end of season 3. Nick, how's Breath of the Wild going? I'll pick it up next week.
All right. Sweeping declaration then. Before the end of season 3, I will buy and finish Breath of the Wild.
So in another 6 months, you mean, essentially.
It's a pretty safe.
At least I'm giving you a timeline.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. Okay, fair enough.
And at this point, I'm playing it more for you than for myself.
Pen and eat this hat and eat this lei.
Shave his entire head and beard off if he doesn't.
I'll go out and buy it right now.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the razor. I was like, no, don't spend money on a razor. Get the fucking Breath of the Wild.
But yeah, no, I'm gonna finish and play Breath of the Wild before I even attempt Link's Awakening. And as we discussed, Link's Awakening will probably only come out towards the end of the year, as is the trend with Zelda games.
Nintendo's Direct, was it good? Was it strong? How did you feel about it? Was it, because honestly, it felt like it was lukewarm with a good, big entry at the end there. A lot of things missing.
Because I was busy, but I was upset there's no Animal Crossing or Metroid news.
Yes, and people are actually yelling at the people who said exactly what you did. You should be happy with what Nintendo gives you,
But I am happy. I'm just upset.
Well,
Valid.
They already confirmed that they're going to be pushing back Metroid for a while, at least until next year, the year after that. They confirmed that a few weeks ago. I can't speak about Animal Crossing, not a franchise that I'm familiar with or have played. A lot of people were expecting Pokemon. Well, not a lot, but a significant amount of people were expecting Pokemon, but it's too early for a Pokemon announcement. That usually comes around like April, May. Between April and June is when they talk about Pokemon. But I wouldn't know. I'm the wrong person to rate a Nintendo Direct. But yeah, that's some of the happier news.
Yeah.
Oh well, I mean, I think it was okay for the most part. It wasn't the best thing in the world, but a couple of things to look forward. A lot of people are like, I haven't touched my Nintendo Switch in months. Give me a reason, Nintendo. I say, and like, okay, right. I'll dust off the Switch.
But let's talk about Activision Blizzard.
I think I might need the drink for this one because actually I'm probably going to have to pour one out for a lot of people.
I don't understand how a company, after its most profitable year, decides, because they want more money despite having the best year they've had, decides to cut out 800 to 900 cut 800 to 900 jobs and give their new CFO a signing bonus of $15 million.
If it makes you feel better, Nick, it was happening the exact same time, this meeting, as the layoffs. So while they're talking about how great sales were in different part of the studio, people were actually being laid off, according to the article.
Well, I mean, but that's
they wouldn't know.
No, but that's a public. That was more of a public sales call, right? Like, all right, these are our numbers. I'm sure internally they have systems that where employees can keep track of how financially where the company's been, what's their quarter's been looking like. I'm sure that's something that they at least discuss.
Do you really think that the development part of a team would actually know how well money is going on through certain parts?
To some extent, at a very broad, shallow, like at a very just like a surface level on just how a game's doing.
If they own stock, which they probably do as employees, but they don't know if they're going to be doing the best in that quarter. I mean, they'd like to think based off of what they're hearing and stuff. I'm sure their managers are giving them like good numbers, like, "Hey, we're doing good. Keep up the good work." And if not, then they're like, "Hey, come over here. We need the talk."
Okay,
happened 800 times.
I'll give you that. Like the layoffs and the meeting, sales calls were happening at the same time. But still, like, how does a company do that? How do you get away with that?
I mean, you can ask Activision Blizzard. They
could probably also ask Telltale and see how that worked out for them.
That is also true. Yes. This is actually, I don't remember how many jobs were lost with Telltale. Hundreds still. But
200 something jobs.
Still a lot of jobs, and suddenly, I mean, not the put this to scale, but 800 to 900 jobs just gone. Yeah.
And not even all of them got severance either. Only the
And-
full-time employees got severance.
Before we go into too much detail, Nick, could you explain what the full talk about this article is?
Yeah. So this is an article from Kotaku written by Jason Schreier, and we love Jason Schreier here. For the most part.
You like him, I hate him, but you know.
At least he tries to give us the truth. This article, the title of the article is "The Fallout of Activision Blizzard's Massive Layoffs." It is a very long article, and skimming through the article, he talks to people, to roughly around 20 people who have been laid off or close to people who have been laid off, and he tries to break down what's happening internally between Activision and Blizzard, and really leaves you with the question of wondering whether, and as our skit points to, how much of Blizzard is left. How in control is Blizzard in any more of their own IPs?
You thought they were in control still? Oh, you.
I mean, we're talking about it in public knowledge.
Activision. That's a joke, Randy. You should get that. I'm already half saying okay.
I don't understand how morally people can just do this. I really don't.
Do you think there's another side of the story?
I would like to think so. I would like to hope so. But at the end of the day, just letting people go without any severance, where this is what they do for a living, and now they can no longer bank on getting any money, and they have to struggle and find new jobs. The same exact thing that happened with Telltale. It's, after they've had the most profitable year, after they've signed, given their new CFO a $15 million bonus just for signing with them, just on top of what he's already going to make every month. I don't see how any of this could be justified.
Welcome to corporate America.
Still, not even in America specifically. There was different locations like over in Europe and Latin America, where they also lost their jobs. It's weird. Yeah, no kidding. It's weird. It's sad. Honestly, I mean, this happens a lot of time with many other companies, but since since the development teams of games that we love are often objects of adoration, we really come to a personal level with these people when moments like these happen. Like large companies all the time cut people loose from their teams just to save a buck. They found a corner to cut. But this, to us, we recognize a little bit more than other people, which is kind of sad in hindsight. But you can't support and love every single person in the world, unfortunately, like this. And so it does suck. At the same time, they also worked for Blizzard Activision, so hopefully this gives them a chance to have a better opportunity elsewhere, preferably not into the sweeping arms of EA or anything like that. But
Wasn't it, when the Telltale Games thing happened, there was a lot of companies that said, hey, send us your CVs and you guys can work for us. Like, they recognized the talent that Telltale had, and I'm sure the same with Blizzard Activision. But
yes, I saw a lot of people on Twitter, large names from video game companies saying, hey, we're sorry this shit happened. If you want to work for us, we would love to have you. And they posted links saying, hey, just let us know. And so,
yeah, it's nice to see the community taking care of each other. It's just sad that it's just a sad situation all around. That it's a nice thing that people have to take care of each other, but it's sad that people have to take care of each other in case where they have no control over their own fates, right? Because they didn't do anything wrong specifically. It's just that the company wants more money, and so they decide to cut to trim the fat. And yeah, no, we've talked about how publishers have started, or at least the business, the higher ups, the stakeholders have been making more decisions onto what happens with the games. Even though I'm pretty sure that most of these people don't play the games. All they see is the numbers, and all they see is the money and the income and the potential, despite how it's going to screw over the gamers in the long run and how it's going to screw over their employees in the long run.
So what do you think this means for Blizzard in general? Do you think I mean, we already have Heroes of the Storm pretty much going into a permanent stasis in terms of updates. Do you think we're going to see any further expansions with World of Warcraft?
I can't speak for WoW, because I'm not a WoW player myself. Overwatch has Overwatch League. There's plenty of money invested in that. That Activision's not going to say much or do anything to it. Um, I can't speak for any of the other games. StarCraft 2, I feel like would be the next one to get the axe. Yeah, I mean,
what about the Warcraft 3 remake?
Yeah, that might never happen anymore, but you know. It's weird because between the three of us, I feel like I'm the one that's mostly invested in World of Warcraft like right now. Like I like hearing about updates and stuff like that and hearing about cool raids and shit. I haven't heard shit in the longest time than this past year. After the Battle for Azeroth, after like the first month or two, it just went so quiet so quickly that it was not a telltale sign, but a telltale sign that maybe something's going on here. Maybe we should be concerned. It's almost kind of scary how quickly Bungie jumped off the ship here when things started to look, a little stagnant here. And I'm kind of impressed that what would have happened if they stayed for another 2-3 months? Do you think half the team would have got axed or something like that?
It's hard to say. Because I believe, at least the speculation is that at the 8-year mark, they had a clause in their contract to get out, and they made full use of it. I don't know, like the skit. I wrote it basically for this. It's Blizzard has to decide. Blizzard has to take a stand, and the only way they can do that is if the game devs, the staff take a stand. We've talked about unions of some sort. We've talked about groups that look out for the people who work overtime. We've talked about Rockstar in past episodes. We've talked about what happened at Telltale. Something needs to change because game development is not what it used to be. When it started out, it was a small team of 2 to 10 guys sitting in a basement making these little 8-bit games, which were complicated at the time for these different systems, and now it takes hundreds of people to make a AAA title.
It was such a big thing a few months ago over in Great Britain when the first developing team managed to get unionized, and it feels like with times like these coming even worse and worse with every passing event, the call for is becoming more abundantly clear. I don't know if it would be the end all be all solution to fix this kind of problem, but it just feels like it would feel almost imperatively necessary. Not only the development team, but voice actors obviously been trying to get properly recognized as a union, which they are, but it's been causing a lot of discrepancies, like with the big strike that happened recently. And I'm starting to get really concerned. I mean, we have always been concerned about the quality, and we've heard the horror stories of shit that's been happening behind the scenes. I wonder what's going to happen with do you think government control is going to come in here to try to moderate something?
No.
I
think they just don't care enough.
I mean, we care about it because it is our passions, which is fair enough. Is it a real life necessity? No.
I mean, think about it in a different sector. Look at all the bullshit that's going on in Hollywood and all of that. And there's no regulation at all. Yeah. Like, if anything, the FCC is controlling the ones who would be doing the regulating. Like, it's completely ass backwards that, and nothing's getting done. And it's going to be the same thing that it is in the video game industry, and I'm sure the television industry as well soon.
Yeah, and it's no surprise all this newfound greed over the last 2 years, because in 2018 the US video game sales reached 43 billion. It was almost 4 times more than the film industry.
Jesus.
Right. It's times are tough. Like, really, they are for people who make these games, and it makes me sad, and like I wish I could do more, because I want to support the people who make our video games, but I don't want to support the publishers, or at least the ones, not necessarily the publishers, but the people who are affecting and making decisions like these that affect the people who make our video games.
It is very weird to see how the bigger companies like this is the ones that are making the biggest mistakes. It makes sense because bigger companies want to maybe not desensitize the idea of focusing on making money over, you know, the well-being of their employees and all that stuff. But after a while, it becomes clear. This is going to be a problem with as people get more and more focused on trying to make the next big game. You know, games like Anthem right now is going to be coming out next week, and right now people are riding their wings on this game. And if this game doesn't do as good as, you know, they're hoping, we can expect probably a similar tragedy is going to be happening in, you know, in the next month or so.
Right. Well, that's that.
You could be like Nintendo, you know, during the rougher days where the CEO, Mr. Iwata, I believe, took a huge pay cut instead of laying off any of his workers.
A pay cut in corporate America?
Yeah, I know, right? Is that even allowed? Oh, man, it'd be a shame if Mr. Kotick, the CEO of Activision Blizzard, you know, could potentially see, you know, doing it for the good of his company versus, you know, lining his own pockets.
Oh no, he wouldn't be able to buy the second lamp that year. What's he? You know, how would he be able to live with himself?
Oh man. Oh well.
I think everybody shares my sentiment. We hope that everybody who lost their jobs manages to find something, land on their feet. Please do check Twitter. There are plenty of people who are reaching out and providing support for potential jobs out there in the market. But we're going to move on here. We have dragged on long enough. We're going to go into game releases, and we only have 2 on the list. Starting with Yakuza Kiwami. That comes out on PC on February 19th. Do we know anything about this game?
Yes.
Heard of it.
Yakuza... Excuse me, my voice is starting to slip. Kiwami is essentially their way of saying it's an HD remake. It came out already on the PS4. And it's now currently getting a port to the PC.
Okay.
And so I believe the second game, Kiwami 2, came out for the PS4 recently. So this is just the process of it hitting the PC at this point.
All right, cool. And then we've got our big hitter, as Tyler's already mentioned, Anthem. That comes out on PS4, Xbox One, and PC on February 22nd. Now, if you are part of EA's Origins Premier Access bullshit plan, you would already be playing Anthem. You already got access to it on the 15th, and a lot of people have been playing it and streaming it. You can download a 10-hour trial if you haven't had a chance to access the beta. I've heard that it is significantly different from the beta because the beta was an old build. So, you know, Anthem's out. Give it a try. Now, this day in gaming, February 11th.
Yay!
Yay!
We have a few games, and we already talked about this.
It's actually February 18th. That didn't get changed from last week. Whoops.
February 18th. Oops. Oh, we're professionals.
All berries.
So February, this day in gaming, February 18th. Brandon, do you want to talk about this first one on the list?
Sure. So the first one is Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn. Can I give a little history?
Yeah, go for it.
Sure. Yeah, lay it down.
So Final Fantasy XIV 1.0 released, and it was hot garbage.
Yes, it was.
Mechanics were clunky. Storyline was all right, but it wasn't the best written, and it just wasn't a very popular game. So they ended up, and I can't remember who took it over, and I feel bad for not being a big enough fanboy, but it was taken over, and they basically recreated the game from the ground up. The story was, well, there was a giant meteor, destroyed everything, pretty much Cataclysm. I keep thinking Horikoshi, but I know that's Boku no Hero. But so basically Cataclysm came, destroyed it, and then Final Fantasy XIV.
Does Division 5 mean anything to you?
No.
Okay.
There's the creator for it. I think his name starts with an S.
You got Naoki Yoshida?
Yes, Yoshida. That's close. SY, you know.
There's an S there somewhere.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Yoshida took it over and basically recreated the game from the ground up, calling it 2.0, which was the first expansion, but it was like Cataclysm level changes. And he ended up creating a much more popular game.
Yes, he did. As you said, in 2010, it came out and it was largely negative, but Yoichi Wada, which was the president of Square Enix back then, sent Yoshida to take over it and made it into something a little bit more interesting.
And I remember I played since the beta of that because I wanted to
get you poor thing.
C14, but I kept seeing bad reviews. I was like, no, I don't want it. And I was like, when that news of that came out, I was like, sure, I'll sign up. I'll try it. Got in, and yeah.
So
the rest is history.
Did you ever play Final Fantasy 11?
No, but I've watched it. It had a lot of similarity combats to Final Fantasy 11, where it was just a really clunky system.
Okay, fair enough. Nick, coming out in 2003, there was a little game that came out for the PC. It's actually a pretty popular game to this day.
Yeah, Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell.
Yes.
Never played it.
Oh, that's very sad.
Yeah, I never played Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell. Honestly, I'm assuming it's like an action stealth game, because that would make sense.
Pretty much, Tom Clancy's Sam Fisher, aka the Splinter Cell. Yeah,
right.
It was probably Tom Clancy's version of Metal Gear Solid at that point.
It's hard.
Okay.
Yeah, it was.
That's the first level, but I was young then. My style.
I mean, nowadays they're more known for Rainbow Six and The Division, but
right.
Still want to pay our respects to Splinter Cell, of course.
Of course. And the last game we have on this list, which I'm not the most familiar with, is Battletoads. That came out in 1994 on the European NES.
I know it mostly from the 4chan meme.
Yes.
Of calling GameStop.
Battletoads was like the poor man's version of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game that came out. Okay. It was a beat 'em up side scroller, I believe, and it's infamous because it wasn't that good, but it was hilarious to make fun of,
and extremely difficult.
Yes, very, very difficult. And the joke was people would call GameStop asking if they had a new shipment of Battletoads that came in, and eventually they got blocked. So I figured I'd put it up there as a joke.
I mean, if it came out, no joke.
It's a significant time period anyways. Games have been around for quite a while. But yeah, that's the show, guys. We made it.
Yes, it was.
We got through it. Brandon, can people find you online? Should people find you online? Do you want people to find you online?
I don't exist. I thought about, so in our show notes, I wrote nowhere for my plugins as a joke because I wasn't included. And I really thought about when it got to this point, just shutting my stream down. Just leaving. You can't find me.
I live in darkness.
But I was like, no, it's a professional podcast. Got to be professional.
Nice.
But yeah, I don't really have much. I might start streaming again, but you can find me as Zigzagoon on most things. But that's about it.
Okay, Tyler, what about yourself? Where could people find you if they wanted to?
You can find me on Twitter with my new found super sweet, deep bass, gravelly voice now.
On Twitter?
On Twitter at 2x Tyler. All letters, all one word. 2x Tyler.
Cool. And then there's me. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram at LRWarrior11. Yeah, it's all unified. It's really nice and clean.
Yeah, it is. Look at you when you're little.
And my little what?
Your brand synergy.
I gotta try.
Your
Casual Master Quest. You can find us.
Your little keyblade.
You can find us on Twitter at MasterQuestPod. Or you can email us at casualmasterquest@gmail.com. Send us in your comments, questions, concerns, hate mail. If you just want to talk, if you just want to reach out, we're down for it. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram.
Yes, you can.
On Facebook, you can just find us if you just type in Casual Master Quest. We should just pop right up.
Yeah.
Instagram is at Casual Master Quest, and that's still being worked on. I know I've said that for the last few weeks. Yes, Brandon.
Hey Tyler.
Yes.
Do you remember? I can't remember who it was. I think it might have been Terranort, but he just fucking destroys Axel's Keyblade. He just fucking completely destroys.
Xemnas
did it.
Yes, he catches Axel's Keyblade and just. Yeah,
But anyway, I remembered that.
I'm glad that Axel and Kyrie served excellent points in the story.
Yeah.
They really blossomed.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'd say there's a little bit of a flame going on.
All right. Any last words?
Fuck you is my last word.
Yeah, invite me back. See what happens. It'll be funny.
It's the end of season 2 for our little podcasting session here.
Yes, it is. It is the end of season 2.
Last time was at the end of season 1.
What's that?
Maybe. I don't remember.
The last episode that I joined was at the end of season 1 because we can make a thing.
That's a good question.
We'd have to go back through the history books and check.
All right, let's listen to them all.
The history of Casual Master Quest.
While we're listening to them all, you guys should too.
Oh, yeah. You can be like Nick, who
listened
to them all the way from the beginning, actually.
What a trooper.
If you want,
a trooper. Our truest fan.
If you want to listen to the Super Goon Squad, I've got those on file.
Do you? Because I can't access them, motherfucker.
I have them all backed up because I knew that my hosting would go down last February.
Motherfucker.
Yeah.
I got the YouTube video, but that's pretty much it.
But anyway.
All right. So that is the end of this is the end of season 2. Following the end of season 1 tradition, we're going to be taking a week break and we'll be back for season 3.
What are you going to do with your time?
I don't know.
I didn't even know.
We have a week freed up. Thank you very much for listening. It has been a fantastic season. Brendan, thank you very much for joining us. This Kingdom Hearts 3 rant, a discussion.
I mean, both.
A little bit of both has been fun to sit in on and try to make sense of it all.
You poor soul. You were screwed from the start the moment you started this episode.
So that's Brandon. That's Tyler. I'm Nick. Thank you very much for listening to this Casual Master Quest episode 40. Be safe. Be good. Enjoy your weeks. Enjoy your time. And don't forget to never stop the grind.
We will see you motherfuckers the week after the next.
Bye.
Bye-bye.